Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets, with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just here in the second round, you know, we had all the eliminations fall in different days, like kind of between the shows. So we're kind of playing catch up a little bit here, at least on the NBA side and all that. But I'm chilling, man. What's up with you?
Not too much right now. Watching the Thunder and the Nuggets right now, and bro, I swear, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has like the worst luck in the world whenever I tune in to watch any of the games he plays. Like, he had 15 in like the first 16 minutes. I've turned on. He's gone ice cold since then. Like every like he never has great games when I watch him. It's weird. A guy that's at this point is a perennial MVP candidate. Like, you know, because you know I just don't really get around to watching the Thunder as much as I should, because obviously they're going to be a team of the decade contender. But it's like, when the 2 or 3 times I'll watch him, you know, per year, he's good. It's not like he's dropping 40 or whatever else. And in the playoffs, you know, I only watched maybe like 2 or 3 Thunder's games last year. He didn't necessarily play well. And then first round is like, okay, I'm impressed with OKC. I'm more impressed with the team than actually him, right? Mm-hmm. And then here is like he has 15 points in like 16 minutes. I tune on, I flip it on. Because I had to catch up on watching Dynamite just now. Flip it on. Now he can't make a shot now. I think he was like, I'm just bad luck for the nigga, apparently. I tune in and then shit just go left. Like I take his powers away or something. I don't know. I want to like the nigga, but every time I watch him, bad things happen. I need to stop watching Thunder's game so he can like become one of the all-time greats.
Well, I guess we should probably start with the Los Angeles Lakers going home.
I mean, we can start with LA. Because you know.
Yeah.
This man packing up his own team. That's crazy.
Got to pack my own team up. This is crazy. Look, this was definitely one of the endings of the simulation here. I thought the Lakers fooled a lot of people during the season. I thought this was like, I think one thing about these playoffs too is these seedings are kind of fake. Is because like they were all from like the 2 to like the 7th seed,
separated by like 1 or 2 games
of each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like the 6th seed is a 49-win Timberwolves team, and then the Lakers 52 wins or something like that.
50 wins.
Oh, 50
or
wins.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it's like, there was only so much there, but still at the same time, you know, you go home in 5. I think changes need to be made, at least on the Laker end. I want to start with the Wolves, though. Like, Rudy Chamberlain, coming to play. Were you watching Game 5 when this was all happening, James? 'Cause I saw it and I was like, this nigga's going crazy.
No. Well, for me, it was like, once they lost Game 4, watching that game, and I basically clicked on, and I was like, okay, like LeBron's basically playing this entire game. Luka's playing this entire game. And then I watched the second half, I was like, LeBron is not coming off the floor. I've seen this before. Like, they're desperately trying to get this game. And they went down with the small lineup, and ultimately they just ran out of gas. Like, there was a point.
Was that the game where he didn't score in the fourth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was exhausted. Because he's making like every defensive. He made like 3 straight defensive plays in a row, but like he couldn't make a basket. He also had a brain fart inbound situation at the end too. So for me, I'm watching it and I'm just like, okay. Like, they're going down swinging. I'm watching the Lakers in the fourth quarter, like, and everybody has their hands on, or bent over with their hands on their shorts, but it's like, they've cut the rotation out. Like, they cannot play Jackson Hayes at all. Like, I'm not getting JJ Redick slack for him storming off on the press conference thing he did, because, like, it's like, hey, man, like, we get it. Like, I understand.
He's an asshole.
You're an asshole. Like, I understand that, like, it's really frustrating for you to watch Jackson, for like, these people that are covering this game to allegedly have watched this game, watch Jackson Hayes' minutes, and then you ask, why do you go down with your, playing your small lineup? Because Jackson Hayes is unplayable. We can't do anything when he's on the floor, you dumb motherfuckers. But he can't say that, right? So he storms off, which is just childish. So, for me, it's like, I'm watching. I'm like, they need this game. They have gone all in. They have because it was a Sunday, right? Game 4 was Sunday.
It was a Sunday,
and then because they had 2 days off, so they were planning on the travel day to get. We're gonna play LeBron and Luka. We're gonna ride them hard, and then we're gonna steal this game, and then we'll have 2 days to rest them. That was their plan. And when they lost that game, I was like, they're done. They're done.
Yeah, the Wolves are so big, they can switch everything, they can guard everything, but then they can shoot.
It's not just that they're big. The thing is, when people talk about like the small ball stuff, whatever else, you can go small if the size can't hurt you as far as like they can't space the floor, right? Well, you have Nas Reed, or back when they even had Towns, it's like.
Nas Reed wasn't even good at the end of the series,
but he was good early in the series.
In the beginning,
right?
Yeah.
My point is, when you have size that can shoot, it's like Chris Bosh, right? It's like the reason why the Heat were able to win titles with that small lineup with LeBron playing 4 and Bosh playing 5 was because Bosh came off of that an ab injury and just all of a sudden became a 3-point corner shooter, and like so you can spread the floor. Like, if size means nothing if you can't use it to space the floor, just like having small guys, whatever else, you can punish them with the height. You have to have height with skill. Like that. So for all the stuff we gave Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota, him on the Knicks now, is like when Mitchell Robinson gets back, they give you a chance. Because that skill at that height does stuff. Like, I mean, the Mavs made the run last year in the finals, right? Like, the skill was for Lively and Gafford was that, like, hey, they're vertical lob threats on the roll for Luka. When you got Kyrie, or you have a shooter out there, or 2 other shooters out there on a pick and roll, he's a threat to rim run, or to run to the rim, or both of them to dunk it. So yeah, like. With the Lakers, they just got outside
LeBron
and eventually wore them down, and also like their defense or their height, they can't scramble to the ball because they don't have. It's a short rotation. They're undersized and they have holes on defense.
Yeah, like your 3 best players can't defend largely, and LeBron was playing outside himself to defend, kind of. And
he can like in his role as the guy, like as the role when like, because basically for me when the Lakers were rolling in post the Luka trade and before LeBron got hurt, it was Luka is the focal point of the offense. LeBron runs the floor open court, and he picks his spots, and he also just completely turned the switch back up on playing defense because he recognized you understand this, watching Kobe as he aged, whatever else. The greats, they have figured out the game in a way to where they recognize, I got X amount of energy for this day. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in the first 3 quarters, get my break, or depending on what the score of the game is, or the situation of the game is, I'm going to figure it out to where I can try to close this game. And the older you get, the harder it gets. So, the last, basically since 2020, basically, in the regular season, basically since 2018, LeBron just regular season, unless it's a game he's got to have, he's not playing defense. He's not playing high level defense. And then he can turn it on in the playoffs for possession, whatever, depending on the situation. And then he got Luka and he's like, I can go back to being a defensive Swiss Army knife or whatever else and everything. But the problem is,
it's not enough.
It's not enough because you still got Luka on the floor. You still have Reeves on the floor. They still attack them. And even with that, you have your best rim protector is still LeBron. LeBron is 40.
He can't do that. This is
no.
So every time all right, I'm looking at it's 2025 now, right? When you just brought up the Heat. When they started winning and, LeBron started winning, the style that he was playing, it took them to take the center off the floor and everybody had to slide up one position. Right. As LeBron has gotten older, he's now sliding up 2 positions, essentially. So him being the biggest guy, this shit's not going to work.
He's not the biggest guy anymore. He's not the biggest guy.
Well, he's not the biggest guy. And then, it's does he want to wear the physicality still? Does he have anybody to help him at all? No. And then that size, it's really when you just leave Rudy Gobert in front of the rim, he will turn into
eventually he will remember he's 7'2". Eventually he will. So
I was just I saw this and I was just
it's something that
I don't know.
It's something that should have happened earlier in the series, but Rudy is Rudy. And I don't mean have that game, because that's the best game he's ever had in his life. But I mean, there should have been stretches where it felt like it should have felt Hibbert-ish. You remember 2013, 14 Hibbert? It should have felt like that for stretches, but for Rudy, just whatever. He has bad hands. Honestly, he legitimately has bad hands. That's why
Julius Randle awesome in the series.
Yes,
he was putting a body on both these niggas.
The best basketball he's ever played. Legitimately.
I was part of me was happy for him. The original baby Laker, Julius Randle.
What was his injury his rookie year? His leg injury.
Broke his tibia.
That's what it was. Yep.
Wasn't
the first week or month of the season of his rookie year?
First game.
Yep. And remember, we both liked him when he was a rookie or freshman in Kentucky. We both liked him. We didn't know, it was still, we didn't realize where basketball was headed. But, the part where, his game had to evolve.
He learned to shoot.
His game had to evolve. And he puts the ball down way more than we thought he ever would have needed to in the NBA. And, he still became a valuable player or whatever else. So, he's a success story because, I thought he was going to be like a Zach Randolph type. And I ain't just because he's left-handed and dark-skinned either.
And undersized or whatever.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I at this point, LeBron, I think Luka's decided to, basically sign the long-term contract. I don't know how you run this team back and then expect it to get better still. There's I don't know who's a free agent.
I don't.
It's just you're expecting somebody to fall out the sky. That can shoot threes and defend the rim and is 7 foot tall. I just don't know if Brook Lopez is in 2026 by that time is going to be the answer.
Brook Lopez ain't the answer for, he ain't the answer right now for Giannis. Yeah, I get what you say. So for me, honestly, I think the real thing is you got Luka. You need to get LeBron to sign on with.
You need to have a conversation with him.
You need to have him sign off on, hey, this is your retirement tour year. And then when he comes off the books, you figure out what to do with that money to find a big or bigs or whatever else. Because honestly, like there's this thought going around now because of the way the cap. I mean, obviously the ramifications of like the second apron stuff with the new CBA is like
these cannot be your two best players.
No, not if you're that bad in the draft. Like, I don't mean like
as far as what pick they will get or the lack of assets. Because I trust the organization to draft.
I mean, like, no, like if you are going to be good, you need to either have a young star. You need a Steph Curry sweet spot situation where like you had a star that was hurt, so you can get him for a cheap deal, almost like the cheap quarterback situation, right?
Yeah.
And you build around him, or you have to have a war chest of draft picks, and they have to hit in a short session like OKC. Like if you sign two guys that are going to become max players, or you draft them, like at this point now in the playoffs, and the way it's going, you look at the three best teams, is like it's about depth more than just star power. Like the idea that you're going to put three stars together and you're going to win or whatever else, unless one of them is Steph Curry, I don't think you can make the match. I don't think you can make I don't think you can make it all match together, like the weaknesses and the holes that you're missing. And like, there's too many teams with depth right now that are at the top of the league that are like, you can't overcome that. Like the Nuggets right now getting their asses kicked by the Thunder. And it's like, well, the Thunder have like 6 motherfuckers that can throw at Jamal Murray. They have literally 6 guys between like 6'6" or 6'8" and 6'5" or 4 to throw at Jamal Murray. Like and they're all athletic. Like that's not normal. Like, so yeah, like it's you gotta find. It's really hard.
And then like I'll tell you for Luka.
I feel like everything's compressed. Like there's the contenders, there's the 3 teams that all won 60 games this year, and then everybody else is compressed, and you can get got based on matchups or inexperience or what have you. And like this was, and if the Lakers had ran into the Nuggets, they would have got beaten the same way because Jokic would have dominated them, and then they ran into all that size in it was
the niggas on national.
Cost them. And ultimately, like that's really the story. Like it's all matchups in the West this year.
It was niggas on national television saying the Lakers were going to the finals and fantasy booking these stories. I'm like, this is make believe.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of
let this go.
It's a lot of they can't let go of. I'm not even Steph to a lesser degree because of Jimmy Butler trade, right? But it's we don't watch these teams. We don't believe these teams. And look, they got the Houston Rockets. And Jalen Green is going to have to figure it out. Otherwise, that team is going to be, they're going to be, a $7 bill the whole time with all this run. Like, they could be like the new Memphis where it's like, yeah, they're the 2 seed. They're the 3 seed. Will they get to a conference finals? Never. But maybe a sore Tom. I'm sorry. I'm in Thompson's the person makes a leap and that and it won't matter. Maybe, right? Because I mean that's kind of what happened with that's kind of what happened with with the Timberwolves, where it's like, all right, Cat is that ever gonna be a thing? And there's like, it don't matter. They got Ant.
Yep.
So, but
and man, Ant didn't shoot his best at the end, kind of like last year. Like all these big signature games that the Timberwolves win, he doesn't play well on offense, but like he does so much other shit. Like he's guarding, he's getting like 11 boards, he's getting 9 assists. Like it's real hard to like not like that guy on the court. You're muted.
Good point for saying on the court. So, the thing about Ant, right? So that clip that was going around of Doris Burke pointed out, which said that LeBron, because I missed you. I said to you like, hey man, or in the group chat, I was like, Ant Edwards just flat out just because this is LeBron, because LeBron, like I mentioned, like the processing of and understanding of I got X amount of gas in the tank to be able to get it, get over the finish line. And you've seen this all the time in the playoffs, right? Pick up Chris Paul 94 feet, pick up point guard 94 feet, make him turn 3 times or multiple times, make him tire out or whatever's on the way, and make him
ask him if he wants
late, right?
Ask him if he wants to deal with the physicality.
Right,
That's
right.
what that is.
So when people do that shit with LeBron, you know, LeBron immediately like, fuck that. I'm passing the ball off to the guard and then I'll get the ball back. You're not about to assault me all the way up the court. They won't allow it. Anthony Edwards said, fuck that. You're going to have to call 3 fouls on me in a row, 3 straight possessions. They didn't call it. He did it 3 times in a row to LeBron. LeBron didn't take the ball and it was coming over half court or trying to get into a set or whatever else. 3 times, Anthony Edwards literally put his hands into LeBron's chest and extended his arms like this. Flat out, straight out. He basically was like, call a foul on me, please. I do not care. And people were doing the whole thing of, he couldn't have, LeBron could withheld the physicality of the 90s. And Jordan's like, bro, guys weren't allowed to do that. They would have got called foul the first time. But anyway, the reason I like that about Ant was Ant recognized LeBron is passing the ball off instead of bringing it up to conserve energy. Fuck that. I'm going to foul him to make him more tired. So he can't. I'm trying to help drain the battery by doing that. If they call foul, so be it. This foul is worth, if it makes him 1/10% less with less energy and drains him, it's worth fouling him 3 times on the floor. He got away with it 3 times or 2 times wrong.
Ain't no free ride.
In the third time, he got it. I like that. He's now like, we be talking about this with Ant. It's like, he talks about how he doesn't see the floor and people have to, and like Mike Conley has to tell him.
He's lying. I think he's lying.
I don't. I mean, because you watch him play.
All this stuff where you talking about like, I don't know what defense they in. I think he's playing on people that think he's gullible or whatever, and the way he talks and shit like that. But the nigga's actually like a computer out there. Well, the Lakers did throw some junk defense at him at times in this series. So it was like at certain times he did not know what he was seeing. He thought he was seeing zone. So like, but what I'm saying is like, because I mean, shit. Like, you saw the shit the Rockets were running on Steph Curry in Game 6. I didn't see Game 6.
Bro, they were running the old fucking.
Oh, I only caught it in the third. My fault.
Bro, they were running old fucking Dean Smith like ridiculous zone, like man zone. It's basically like a boxing one, except like the center's in the paint, and then like everybody rotates and like basically at the top. How do I explain this? The center is in the middle. The people at the bottom and the top have to find a man, and then as people come off screens or move across, they have to pick up. It's almost like they're doing this defensively.
Yeah.
Around the center. On both sides. And I forgot what the responsibility is.
It sounds like it's a 2-1-2 that like
It's a 2-1-2. It's a 2-1-2. It looks like a 2-1-2, but it has principles where like the guy at the left and the right are linked together, and when one moves one way, the other one has responsibility to replace him. And then on the other side, I forgot what it's called exactly, but like Dean Smith used to run the shit, and it's like they're throwing junk defenses at Steph. They were throwing that kind of junk defense at Steph Curry, right? I don't think Anthony Edwards, because it's Steph, because it's special, that kind of shooting thing and the responsibility of all that shit he has to do with getting the ball off the ball, right, to get to the ball. And Edwards, I don't think he'll ever see that kind of defense, but like they were throwing certain things at him where it's like, I don't know if he's ever seen this before, and this is a part of the growing experience of him learning stuff, and like the part where it's like that I enjoy about him, and a part I enjoy about like watching like the young greats is like before it's always fun to watch the greats, but there's always a point when like they get to a certain age where like they figured out the game of basketball in their own way, where it's like they're never going to like take certain shots on the floor before it's like, hey, I'll try this. Now it's like, I'll never try this before ever again. Right? Like there's a point like in 2000, I don't know, maybe like 2009, 2010, where it's like, you're never going to see Kobe in certain spots on the floor. Right? There's a certain point where like we got to like 2000, I'm going to say like 14 or 13, where it's like, you're never going to see LeBron on certain spots of the floor. Unless like it's a particular like play call. Like he's not taking certain shots. It's out the window. Like he's not going to be out here like, fuck it, I'm just going to try to use my wild athleticism to make some shit shake. Right? Outside of like a last second possession thing. I mean, just like in any old play. Right? So that's the thrill of watching like the young dudes or whatever else. Like before they like kind of figure out how the game slows down. They figured out everything, quote unquote, right? They've mastered the game, mastered the mental part of the game. So like with Ant, it's like
they've minded the game.
Yeah, that too. So it's like for me, it's like Ant ain't out here worried about like necessarily like the gas tank. He don't know how to pace a game yet. He's still learning this stuff, and that's why he's
don't need to yet.
Right? Like, look, I mean, obviously Ja has regressed or whatever else, but it's like that was the fun of Ja. It's like, look, Ja was out here willing to jump to try to dunk on anybody, any situation, regardless of his health or all that kind of stuff. That's how you know with his hip injury just now, last week, right? Eventually, he's gonna slow down and be like, I ain't got to do all this. Ain't got to take all these risks or whatever else. He's gonna figure out how to carve certain stuff out of his game and make it quote unquote more efficient or whatever, or smoothing off all the edges, if you will, right? Like, so when you get dudes that are young and fun, like that's why like the Oscar twins are fun.
Yeah,
because it's like
the Thompson
they
twins.
gonna learn. Yeah. They gonna learn on the way. Wembanyama. It was fun to watch him when his guards are worth a damn, because it's like he's gonna eventually learn how to do certain things, and he's gonna be like, I ain't gonna do this no more. And then you're gonna be like, damn, that's when people talk about young Kobe, for example, right? I remember that MSG reverse dunk or the KG dunk. It's like there's a certain point where like all that trying kind of shit out the window. Like the Dwayne Wade commercial about like, fall down 9 times, get up 10. Eventually, you ain't gonna get up that 10th time, so your ass gonna stop going to the trying to go to the floor. That's what I'm saying. So like the young guys, it's time to enjoy like their rise as it's happening. And like for me, that's why like the Shea thing is frustrating when I'm watching these games and like I turn it on and like bad shit happened to him. I want to like Shea. I look at the numbers. I see the highlights. That dude's smooth. He foul merchant.
Who else bad shit? You know who else bad shit keep happening to?
James Harden. Time for that.
Jim Harden. Bring your ass to the stage, boy. Jim Harden.
You know what?
Oh my God.
It's funny because it's like, we have all at a certain point have all written him off as far as like, it's never going to happen for him in the playoffs. Right. And then like, he had a resurgence this year after like he was washed up completely. And then like, he made an all-star team again. And then it's like, oh, it's time for the playoffs. And then he had that game against the Warriors to get to get the seeding, to avoid the play in, and then like, okay, he only got to be the second guy. Even still, no, he's 36. If he wasn't gonna do it when he was, on that, if he was gonna do it in his ultimate prime, you think he was gonna do it at 36? Nah.
That's the book of unlimited choking chapters. I've never seen somebody act like this in these game sevens. The problem is it's not even that he missed his shots. He wouldn't shoot. He had more turnovers than shot attempts.
Bro, there's like some crazy number that like he has like some like dozens, like more than like
25 or some shit.
Yeah, of playoff games with more turnovers than assists. And like for me, forget the game 7 stuff because he's had a couple game 7s. But he's had this run of like really bad game 7s right now. The main thing is that I've said this to you before for years, Rich. It ain't about when the series with James Harden. It ain't about games 1 and 2. He's gonna play well in games 1 and 2. It's that once you get in a series with him and you realize and you start hunkering down and like game planning for all the shit he does as far as like, hey, don't put your hand in the cookie jar. He's gonna get you with the foul merchantry stuff. And then also this part that always gets me is like, hey man, these refs, they called the game different in the regular season than the postseason. We always know this, but the dudes that had these struggles, they never figure it out that like all this shit you do in the regular season you ain't gonna get the benefit of down the postseason, and then you left looking crazy. And all of these games where it's like he has more turnovers than field goals, these are games where the refs have him looking crazy because like he's like, bro, you've been calling like this all year, and then the refs would be, don't say it, but it's like, brother, it's the playoffs, you ain't getting that call.
Get yourself out of trouble.
He ain't never learned this. This is year 16.
We are not coming to save you, Jim Harden.
Like, my thing is, I get the sympathy when it happens to young guys. It's like, you don't realize the whistle's going to be different, right? But it's on you to recognize what's going to be different. You got to change things. It's year 16. He's never changed anything.
Never changed like Jay-Z. He's the same.
Right. And you know me, I'm a Harden guy. Well, you know that, right? You would admit that. But even me, I'm like, bro, you got to either learn the lesson or this is where you're going to be. And every time, this is where he ends up.
Saw some shit. I saw somebody say, "Fuck that, Manu Ginobili that nigga not better than Manu Ginobili." I gave him the old retweet on that. We done seen Manu Ginobili. He shut him down in the playoffs before.
Rich, how many times? Rich, how many times in the last 6 years we've seen dummies on Twitter go on here talking about, Harden better than Wade, and I'm like, he has more accolades than Wade because he had better health. In a game for your life, you are never taking prime James Harden over Dwayne Wade. Never. These are the things you say when you were 20. These are the things you say when you're 25 years, when you're under 25 years old. Absolutely not.
This is why I love the playoffs, because it's like,
it's a separator. It's a separator.
The numbers can be manipulated. The numbers can be whatever they are based on the pace of play, the style for the era, whatever the fuck it is. We see how these guys are wired and what their hearts are like, and what makes them become winners, and the other side losers.
It's exactly what you said. I'll add to it. Is where you find the limits of, is where you hit your head on the ceiling and you come back, and it is where you learn. Did you learn the lessons? Right? It's LeBron, you need a post game. You can't back down JJ Barrera. You need a post game. Yeah. Got the post game, 2 titles, right? It's Jason Tatum, you got to figure out how to be effective in games when you're not making shots. Got to the finals again. Couldn't make a fucking basket. Couldn't make a fucking jumper. Figured out how to affect the game without making baskets. Right? Kobe, you're a shot chucker. Sometimes the shots ain't gonna drop. What you gonna do? I'm gonna hit the fucking boards. That's the thing. You in these high level situations against high level competition, and all these teams get to hunker down and not be flying in and be brain dead zombies from jet lag and no sleep, traveling all around the country. Teams get to lock in and they play intense basketball, focused basketball, no bullshit basketball, and you learn things about these people, and you figure out if there's holes where they are on teams and in players or in coaches, and over time, will they change? Will they change? Will they adjust? Will the team stick together? Will this player in this particular situation that struggled in a different situation, will they succeed over time? That is why I love basketball, and that's why I like basketball, especially now. Because it just feels like, to me, the regular season is less of a correlation to how good a team is in the postseason than ever before.
I swear it is, because every year we see some young team getting fucking clapped in round 1. That's been this regular season,
right.
And it happens way more often now than it did 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. And it's the James Harden thing is a perfect example. Is the foul merchantry shit. The foul merchantry shit. You can't.
Bad for the game.
You can't get away. You can get away with that shit in the regular season, but the postseason's gonna come and the whistle's gonna dry up. And are you gonna learn how to just play ball? And he never learned how to play ball. It's always still trying to get 3 fucking steps. 3 fucking steps.
It's only so long that fake thugs can pretend.
And for me, it's hey, all right, man, you ain't never learned a lesson. So this is where you historically, you have these great accolades. Postseason, you got nothing to really show. And so you're going to be here at this certain level. You're never going to, and the guys that you may have more accolades than that, or whatever else, and you're way more healthy than. I've seen those guys at the top, at the highest level in their prime. Nah, bro. I saw Dwayne Wade score average 36 points per game in the fucking finals. You're never.
Oh, I saw Jimmy Butler damn near open his heart and soul on the finals court before.
Exactly. I saw Jimmy Butler I saw Jimmy Butler go toe-to-toe LeBron James, and LeBron James the one that blanked. And that was like the last year LeBron James' healthy prime.
Oh, I saw Westbrook get 43 in the finals. Most field goals in a finals game before.
Yeah, I've seen that too. At 22, 23 years old. We're going to leave out the part. We're going to leave out the part where he turned the ball over to end the game, but whatever. James Harden, where's his all-time field goal game in the finals? Oh, he was shit his pants in that same finals?
In that finals.
Okay.
That shit his pants in that same finals.
Yeah. LeBron was out here cooking him. Why? Look, that's another question for why Scotty Brooks even had James Harden guard LeBron James, but we'll leave neither here nor there. Neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's another. Look, the problem with Scotty Brooks, that man kept playing Kendrick Perkins in that series and never figured it out.
True. That's the biggest problem. I'm just saying that like there was another problem where it's like, why is James Harden guarding LeBron James?
The Warriors got to the second round, so it's one team of unks left, holding it down. You know,
hey man,
they trying to fight them off.
They trying to fight them off.
This might be it. This might be the end of the road against the Wolves.
We'll see, because obviously like they're gonna have to figure out the Gobert minutes are gonna matter when Steph's on the floor, right?
Look, man, Steph Curry is a fucking zombie. Like, all right, sometimes he doesn't shoot the ball well at times anymore, but then he gets fucking locked in, and then it's like he is a vampire. You have to kill him. Like, you have to stab the stake in his heart because they are danger. It's the easiest thing in the world for Steph Curry to get hot for a month. I swear it is. Like, and if it happens, there's no reason they can't win.
Yeah.
Like size, maybe.
I think it's a good matchup for the Warriors. Like, unless Rudy is going to remember he's 7'2", and I have a hard time imagining he's going to remember he's 7'2" because Draymond's going to be out there trying to make sure that he think that he's 6'4". So we'll see.
And we're going to have Draymond and Rudy. We're going to have Jimmy going against Minnesota in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part.
Ant and Jimmy facing off. We know they made the same shit. It's going to be...
Yeah.
Conley and Steph, old ass niggas...
Yeah.
Been playing against each other for years.
Yep. Bro, it's just either one of them, they're running into a guillotine after this, but it's gonna be fun to see Steph stole another, or Steph or Ant was able to get another Western Conference run. It's gonna be fun either way.
Yeah, man.
But I think I got to see the first game.
Bro, like, if the Wolves get back to the conference finals after that trade, I think people got to let it go forever.
Wait, what trade? Oh, after the trade?
When Towns walked, yeah. And the Rudy.
I honestly feel like if you don't make the trade, if you don't not the Rudy trade, if you don't make the Towns trade for Randall, you're like, we might have had a shot. Like, but you're right. If they get to the West Conference Finals, like, you'd be like, hey man, it was a lot, but we made 2 conference finals. We were never going to do that without this trade. But then you might go to kicking yourself and be like, say again?
Bro, what if the Knicks and the Timberwolves are in the finals or some shit? They get against each other. That shit. Oh my God. I can hear the storylines now. Oh my God. Oh shit.
That hurt my heart. So in this, you know what that scenario mean? That means that like the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Thunder all fucking lost.
Bro, I was gonna say, can we go through the best like remaining narrative finals that are out there? Yeah,
I mean Celtics Warriors, right? Wouldn't that be?
It's just a rematch. That's just a rematch. I think the Knicks and the Warriors might be interested, right? Because Steph Curry broke out in the Garden originally, trying to get his last time, trying to get his 5th.
That's true.
You know,
but I would say this: Warriors Celtics is like, hey man, we know who's room. Look, we know who's room for the Warriors. America.
Who's LeBron rooting for?
Let's see. Between the Celtics or Steph?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that is a good question because like, will he pass with 5 or like he also hates the Celtics guts? That is a good question. I think you honestly picked the Steph because like I don't think he really sees Steph as a threat in that way outside of but
should
I don't know why. It's like, hey, I played how many finals with you? I'll play you in all of them. Okay, congrats. You got
what
2
else
MVPs. I got 2 more times as many you do. How many times have you been first team All NBA? Have I doubled you?
I think.
Oh, Steph,
Thunder.
Steph, are you top 40 in scoring yet?
Ain't gotta be.
Apparently
ain't gotta
not.
be. It gotta be.
You ain't gotta be. You ain't gotta be.
Well, I own this generation.
Steph's definitely the most influential.
Ain't never had to leave my house.
You wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have to if your 4th best teammate is Andre Iguodala somehow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think the narrative finals. Like, I don't know if there's anything interesting for the Thunder if they make it necessarily. They don't really have any. I can't think of any guys that like have kind of been through. Or Hartenstein. I don't know. Back to the Knicks.
Hartenstein, the Knicks.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
And then Denver.
Oh no, Rich. I mean, well, it's not as big of a deal now, but like the Porzingis versus the Thunder. I'm sorry, Porzingis versus I'm sorry, it's happening right now. Porzingis versus the Knicks right now. That's a thing.
Jokic, I don't know if he's got anybody. Russ over on that side, I don't think.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he hates
Wolves.
the Celtics, I would imagine.
Russ?
Yeah. LA guy.
Okay.
Just off the strip.
Okay.
Southern California guy, of course, hates the Celtics.
Anything for Cleveland? I think that died with LeBron, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the Celtics still hate them because of that whole run. But yeah, like that's more for like that. You know, how people talk about like the rivalries in the NBA are dead, and you think about like, I mean, look, Cleveland. I bet Cleveland and Boston still fucking hate each other. Fans still hate each other. Like, and I bet you know, it can still look that Miami and Boston shit is still real. Both of them fan bases still hate each other. Like, so all the talk about like rivalries or rivalries don't matter is like it did matter. It still matters to these certain fan bases. Like you can create rivalry through having to play each other in the playoffs all the goddamn time.
You know, like for some, like there's been a Nuggets Lakers thing that I never really got into because like I was like, when the fuck were we supposed to beat them? Like I don't like that shit is irrational. Like I don't. Like, and it wasn't even like
I think
there was some fight between the teams.
I think it's more
there wasn't
the Nuggets,
like bad blood.
I think it's more the Nuggets trolling Lakers fans and Lakers fans not knowing how to handle getting their ass kicked because the Lakers have had a very privileged experience in life.
Is that just Mike Malone?
I think but Mike Malone was like I think that's a part of it definitely because you know the whole thing of like why are they still talking about the Lakers when we kick their ass? I'm like, hey, that's fair.
No, it's like there was never any position to where like we blew the series against them or something like that.
Right.
Like there was none of that. It was just it was just belt to ass. Like it was.
I think people still hung up on the 2023 thing. Well, I mean, you gotta remember it's the Western Conference Finals.
Swept.
Hold on, Rich. I think it's the 2020 bubble series where the Lakers won. And those games were close, but Lakers won. And then, like, you get to 2000, the West Conference.
I forgot that even happened.
I mean, that's a part of it for the Nuggets. Then you get to the part where, like, they had the four game sweep, where, like, the Lakers had the lead going into the fourth quarter of every single game, or, like, the last 5 minutes of every single game, and the most people just blew it. And it's like, so the Lakers fans think, like, we were closer than we actually were. It's like, no, the Nuggets actually really just were the better team, and LeBron was able to manage these games to get a lead at the end and then ran out of gas at the end of these things. And then Jokic,
They were a 6 seed that caught some of them young teams in the first round and then caught an old team.
Yep.
Like, they didn't catch somebody that was like, firing on all cylinders at that point. So, like, I think people talked themselves into a lot of stuff as Lakers fans the last 5 years.
Yeah, they have. So, like, that Westbrook trade, like, giving away Caruso.
Bad idea.
Blowing that up for Westbrook. Like, remember we talking about the depth thing? Once you give that money, once you give that slot to Westbrook, and then you have to turn that slot into who was it?
Guys.
What's your boy's name? D'Angelo. After that, it's like you can have 2 guys and then fill out with depth. That's actually the way to probably go now. But once you do 3 or whatever else, unless I honestly feel unless Steph Curry's one of the 3, and your 3 stay healthy, you're cooked. Because the CBA at this point, I'm talking about going forward. Maybe in the past, a couple years ago, like obviously, like if Kyrie doesn't get hurt in 2021 or 2021, like they win the title, but like they got injured. But like I'm just saying, like at this point, it is too hard to build a contending team at the highest levels. The way this league is so like balanced, kind of. To get through 4 rounds and win all 4 with 3 stars and like lack of depth, like 3 diamonds around doo-doo. Yeah. It's awfully hard now.
Well, I guess we can do picks for this round. Maybe, I would love to pick the Nuggets, but I don't know how they gonna hustle and heart their way out of this one.
And they playing right now after Game 7 2 days ago.
Yeah, they just chalk up the deuce on that Game 1. Part of me wants to pick the Warriors, but man, it's hard to not be impressed by the Wolves and think they are the team that went to the West Finals last year, basically aside from a couple pieces, but. I think I'm gonna take Wolves. I'm gonna be a coward. Wolves in 7.
Wolves in 7.
I'll take the Thunder, and then I think the Cavs will figure it out. Even though the Pacers are going to scare the bejesus out of them.
Yeah. Well, you remember Garland didn't play.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Garland
know that.
didn't play, and then and also the thing about like watching the Pacers. Every time I watch the Pacers, the last 2 years when I watch the Pacers in playoffs, I'm like, why don't I watch them more? They're fun to fucking watch.
Bro, that's my 2K team.
Because they have so many like good perimeter players, and they know and they all play well together. Like there's not like selfish.
Actually, these are both my 2K teams, the Cavs and the Pacers. If I'm playing online, it's one of those 2 teams, and it's been like that since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, like the Neymar dude, like Siakam, McConnell, Halliburton, it's competent offense at all times with them.
They play a Western Conference team.
Knocks down threes.
They play like a Western Conference team.
You need to pick a Western Conference team, what you saying?
I said they play like a Western Conference team.
Yeah. Historically, yeah. They're pretty boys, yeah. They play a pretty boy style of offense, yeah.
And then the Knicks, they stole Game 1 in Boston or whatever, and apparently they walked down a 20-point lead from the third quarter. Like, they stole the game or whatever I'm hearing.
Some of the lines, like, the Celtics missed, like, 45 threes.
Yes, 45-3. That's insane.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't want to watch that shit.
That's never
happened. I don't want to watch it. 45-3. And James Harden wasn't on the roster. That's
stupid.
Crazy.
You stupid. Crazy. That was 27. And then Chris Paul didn't play because he was injured. That's fucked up. James Harden had 29 points in that game?
I did.
Okay. That's the last time he's played good in a Game 7 ever. He's been bad in force ever since then.
Crazy.
I'll cut him break for that Game 7 against the Bucks because he had a bad hamstring, but the other ones, no. He just played bad.
So let's move on, man. WNBA preseason. I don't know how much of it you caught, James, but I can walk you through.
What are the storylines?
It's pretty exciting so far. The first game that I watched was the Aces and the Wings, and they were playing in the Notre Dame arena.
Okay.
Right? I don't think it was sold out or anything. Like I don't. I didn't get the number or anything, but there's a lot of they basically booked that based on like Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, and one other Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, and it slips my mind the third player. Enrique Ngumbawale all went to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and then you got Paige in Asia.
Yeah, I knew Enrique and I knew Jackie. I didn't know Jewel Lloyd went to Notre Dame. I remember, but I do remember. I think Asia Wilson last year was talking about Jackie Young and something like. She was like, Notre Dame don't put out number guards. She was like, they put out guards. And I was like,
Jackie Young,
and then like now you mentioned, I was like, yeah, they do.
And they originally had Caitlin committed too, but
what do you think happened? That just basically she chose Iowa because she couldn't get to UConn.
I mean, her dream school was UConn.
Right.
She was originally committed with Muffet McGraw, and then at the last minute, she called Lisa Bluter like, "Can I still come to Iowa?" And then Lisa Bluter was like, "Well, yeah,
Okay.
So Jackie Young was sensational in the first game.
It's funny.
The Aces. Go ahead.
We're one decision away from Rich not being a super fan of Caitlin Clark. Because I tell you this right now, Caitlin Clark would be the same as that person she turned out to be. If she had been a Notre Dame fighting Irish, Rich would not have been a fan. Rich hates Notre Dame with a passion.
I mean, that's Notre Dame football, so I don't know if it would have necessarily rolled over.
No, I ain't trying to hear that shit.
I ain't got no smoke for Jackie Young. Like, I ain't got no smoke for Jackie Young. Like, but
this man said, no, just football, just football.
Like it's
we talk about a hypothetical. You could have rolled with it too.
Florida State football is not Florida State basketball. It's different.
This man said, no, Caitlin Clark fans. I always would have been a fan of her no matter what she turned out. That talent is undeniable. Trust me. This nigga talking about this hypothetical. I guarantee you he'd have been like, fine Irish. What is it? What she mean by that? He would have been on her ass. He might have liked her once she got to the W, but not no. Definitely look, let that injury shit that happened, or whatever else when she was wearing that Fighting Irish shit. You would not have supported her. I guarantee you. I know you, Rich. I know you.
So
they're talking this black woman and they're ready for this white supremacist team. This is exactly the shit you would have said. You may not have said it on air, but you damn sure would have said it to me. I know you.
New Rockney, all this bullshit. But they played that first game. They beat the fuck out the Wings. The Wings look bad. Like they look like they're gonna be in for a long season. Because like it looks like I don't know if they're actually gonna do this in the regular season. I would advise them not to. They just be handing Dejanay Carrington the ball and be telling her, "Hey, you should go try to score." No, like she needs to just guard and shit like that. Paige kind of just played regular. They weren't really guarding her too tough. I think she got about 1/100th of the defensive pressure that Caitlin would get, like as compared to last year in the preseason. She scored like 10 points or something like that, so she didn't really do too much, but she wasn't bad either.
Okay.
Asia looked great. She like a machine. And Juloy didn't really look great. But that's a lot of star power they wasted it in that show. They put that there. Like the reason I keep bringing up the attendance is like it was like I think people thought it was going to be more, especially when you compare to what happened Sunday. So like after that, the other preseason games I watched were the Fever games. They caught the Mystics on Saturday, and they went to overtime in a preseason game, James. So Caitlin Clark did not play the first one, tightness in her leg or whatever. So whatever. Sydney Colson starts in her place, does not look good out there, but this is like the Sophie Cunningham game. She dropped like 21 points, 8 boards. She got in some shit with Kiki Iriafin where Kiki just threw her on the ground. Sophie jumped up because apparently, Sophie she ain't really for the bullshit. She jumped in Kiki's face. Kiki has a look like I will slam you again. Don't play with me. Like, and then they separate them. She got thrown again by a chick named Brittany Sykes from the Mystics, and the Mystics played really good. They're missing Georgia Amore, who they got 6 in the draft with the torn ACL, so that's sad for them. I think she's going to be a star. Georgia Amore,
when did she tear it?
In the first practice. Yes, first practice. But Sonia Cintron is their other Rookie of the Year. James, I think it's a 3-way race on the Rookie of the Year thing now. Like, Sonia Cintron is actually good. Can defend, can shoot the 3, aggressive. Doesn't look like it. Very kind of slight build or whatever. Like, you would see her and be like, hold on, what? Like, it don't make no sense. But
she looks like she don't hold up at the point of attack.
Right, but she does. And the Fever kind of like just walked them down. They fell down by 15 or whatever, but then they just kind of walked them down slowly and ended up turning it over to their youngsters. Michaela Timpson from Florida State is awesome. When you talk about someone that's going to be the future power forward, is her. Like, strong finisher, super athletic. She looks like she can dunk. And then to Sunday. When I say Sunday, like, in a vacuum, this is Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever against the Brazilian national team. It's a game that means nothing, like absolute less than nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But they drew 15,000 people. They were like all the star power you saw on that Friday night, right? Damn. Where it was like Paige, Asia, y'all got 3 Notre Dame people, right? Mm-hmm. This is Caitlin Clark gonna be there. No help on the other side. The big dogs coming home. Comes in there. It's like Jesus returned, bro. Like, they're all standing up in unison, clapping together for her. They keep showing the logo imprinted from where she broke the all-time record. It's imprinted on the floor now, or whatever. So when you're the Brazilian national team, you walk in there, you're looking at the floor, you're looking at the rafters, you're seeing all that. It's one of the most, like, crazy, like, it's like, imagine if they dropped, like, Michael Jordan back in Chapel Hill at, like, the height of whatever with him. Yeah. It's like, it would be the same shit. Like, I
think they did that for a preseason game.
Yeah, I think they did too. And then they were like, at the end of they beat the fuck out of Brazil, right? Like, it's not even close at all. Caitlin ends basically her time in the game pulling up 2 feet behind the logo or whatever. It's just like, you're gonna see this for the rest of her career. The Fever are completely unlocked lineup wise. Looks way better offensively than last year. Just a complete transformation. The players are asking for autographs after the game and to do TikToks on the floor with her. Like, this is like some dream team shit that was happening. Oh,
Angola
whooping our ass. Yep. Thank you for whooping our ass. They beat them by 60, James. Like, now, I don't know what that means, because the Brazilian team also played the Chicago Sky over the weekend. The Sky did not beat them as bad, and that one was in Baton Rouge, where Angel Reese with LSU was.
Right.
They drew around 7,000 people there. Not bad, but not a great number necessarily either. But, like, they weren't asking the Chicago Sky players for no autographs after the game. It got so bad that Angel Reese's mom on Twitter had to come out and say something, like, to try to, like, boost it up or whatever.
Why did she need to say anything?
Man, I don't know, man.
7,000. I don't know what the attendance is for preseason NBA games. I have nothing to gauge this on. But if you put 7,000 for a preseason game, you put 7,000 people in for an exhibition. There ain't even 2 WNBA teams. I think you did fucking good. 15,000 that Caitlin Clark did is fucking exceptional.
Like, this shit was a litmus test, really. Who's really lit? Like, this shit was like...
I see what you... did you really just do that?
I did.
Litmus test, see who's really lit. You've been listening You've been listening to Drake lately, haven't you?
No.
That sounds like
I think I might have played... I think I might have played a song in the pre-show.
Okay, that sounds like a Drake line. It really does.
But yeah, it was like, it was like, if you want a snapshot of a really special moment, and this is for Dan, a moment in somebody's career, that was it on Sunday. It was phenomenal to watch. It's almost like, imagine if you got to watch the Angola game live and then saw them after the game, how they were acting. Like, it was like, Wow. And then the Brazilian coach was basically saying, Caitlin Clark, thank you. Like they caught him talking or whatever. Like she walked up to him, they shook hands, and he was like, thank you for changing the history of basketball and all this other stuff. And she was like, is this the biggest crowd you played in front of? And then he was like, yeah. Like, and then, it was just like, it was pretty cool up to see, but we'll see.
So when does the regular season start?
Regular season starts May 15th.
Okay.
On a Friday. So I believe the Friday night is the Wings and the Lynx, if I'm not mistaken, and then the next day the Fever open against the Sky, and then I believe the Aces are playing the Liberty, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. It's a back to back on a Saturday. So
who versus Liberty?
WNBA is going to be.
What's third game?
I think it's the Aces. I think the Aces and the Liberty.
Stewie. I think. Okay, Stewart in Asia. Then you do as you mentioned, Angel and Caitlin, and then you said the Wings and who else was first game?
And the Lynx, that's Friday night. And there's another Friday night game, but I can't
nuts
recall.
when the FISA are going nuts in theory.
And
also
Paige is from Minnesota.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she's from Minnesota. So so yeah, it's gonna be like all the preseason games are free on the WNBA app. If you want to get a look at them, they already started cutting people in the league. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of other conversations going on with the international players and people being upset about the Americans getting cut. And the Valkyries are doing the thing with all the international players. People was not liking it. So it's like,
why do
people just telling on themselves?
Why do you care where the players are from?
People telling on themselves. They can't help it. They can't help it. Say if they be happening in the NBA,
right?
They can't help it,
right? Like you remember, you saw that clip I sent you with like Gillian and them talking to like 520 about like who's the best player, and everybody at 520 is like, Teague, Behan, they're like Jokic, and they're like they don't want to hear that shit. It's like, bro, it's over. It's over. Like the three best players in basketball are all foreigners at the worst. Like it's either a skinny fat Siberian or a Nigerian Greek nigger. Like and then you have a Canadian nigger with braids. Those are the three best guys in the league right now. Sorry. And then eventually you'll get to Tatum, but Tatum ain't in front of them three.
And then I don't know if you've seen this, like with the betting lines have moved. It looks like Caitlin Clark's now the MVP favorite, and a lot of people are picking her. Like the media is coming around. One Jamel Hill has picked her to win the MVP this year. I agree. I think she is going to win the MVP, and I think they're going to finish second as far as record wise. But
behind
it's going to be interesting because I think the Liberty is still going to be the best team in the league.
Okay.
They're gonna have to beat them in the finals. Like they're too loaded.
So they still have their core three of John Quill and Brianna and Sabrina, but who else do they have now? Do they still have Courtney Williams?
They do. Courtney Williams on the Lynx. The Lynx really didn't change much. Yeah, but the Liberty have Natasha Cloud now, and Cloud is essentially
okay.
That's Caitlin. That to me that screams Caitlin Clark defender right there. And then they did lose Betnijah Hamilton, who is basically their primary Caitlin defender, but they will replace her with Leonie Fibich, who's 6'4" and guard everybody, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So they still got Naira Sabally off the bench. It's going to depend if Stewie slips at all.
Do you think
if she slipped at all, the door's open. Again? She didn't even have a kind of series last year. She just had a crazy game.
Okay. Do you think she's ever going to recreate that game? That's true. Do you think she should recreate that game? Yeah, I don't either.
No. I think what could undo the Liberty is
she the older Sabally or is it the younger Sabally?
She is the younger Sabally, I believe.
Okay.
I think if there's any slippage with Stewie and if there's any hesitation with Sabrina, if there's a hierarchy shift at all between them, that could trip them up because I think John Quill is like your safety valve.
Yeah,
like
she saved their asses.
If them two suck like they did last year, she can bail them out or whatever. But
here's my question.
I think Brianna, you got to kind of look at
how much. Okay, so it was a hand. She had a broken hand. Sabrina had a broken hand. She
had
a broken finger.
Sabrina had a broken hand in the finals.
Yeah. What game did that happen?
Like that. I don't know.
Okay.
And then, Stewie had knee surgery in the off season, so I don't know how that'll go.
And she dressing up like she owned niggas.
Correct.
Met Gala. I don't know if y'all saw that. Pull up Brianna Stewart Met Gala. She looks like she owns the the 7 original herbs and spices or whatever number it is that the Colonel had. Yeah.
Yeah.
She looked like she said, "Not in front of my niggas, he can't."
Nope.
She looked like like not nigga, not Calvin Candy, the nigga before they got to Calvin Candy.
Nigga.
I forgot who that was, but that's what she was dressing like. She was dressing like she was escorting the Harlem Heat to the ring at first.
Colonel Parker.
Yeah. All that. Not a good look,
but
people like the look. I disagree. For historical reasons.
I was laughing as soon as I saw that. I was like, "Oh no!" There's a couple people at the Met Gala. Angel's at the Met Gala. Sabrina's also there too.
Can you wear that anywhere but a Kentucky Derby and get away with it as well?
Fuck no.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't think so either.
I mean, well, apparently the Met Gala.
She ain't get away with no one. One Nation Radio says she ain't get away with it.
Correct. That's true. She's not passing smell test here.
Not here.
Where it counts.
Look, yes, where it counts. Fuck them. They don't know no better.
Trying to think of any other preseason storylines that are going on. The Phoenix Mercury got to figure out a whole new team. The Atlanta Dream added Brittany Griner. I think the Fever are going to be great. I think the Aces are still going to be really good. I think
they're not a contender.
I don't think so. I think they're third, and I think they're if it's an Aces Fever series, that is going to be must see TV.
Wait. You only have them. You have them at third.
I got them at third.
You don't think the Lynx are better?
I think the
Lynx
they lost Cloud? The Lynx didn't have Cloud. I think the problem with the Lynx is I don't think they added enough.
Okay.
Could be a heartbreaking loss. I think Collier's gonna finish second in MVP voting, maybe. But they got a tall task. I think to stay at that same level, especially with all these other teams like adding pieces. So I think the Sparks are going to be a sleeper team. That's if y'all look. If there's people, she's coming back in June.
How do you think she's gonna look in June though?
All she got to do is block shots.
It's true. But she got to block shots to cover for the part where like all the holes that or all the blow-bys that Plum's gonna give up. She got to hit the ground running. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that fair to her?
But, I mean, Kelsey Plum gonna be worried about offense. So,
another offense-only LA team. Damn it.
LA Sparks, I believe Black Saber Jr. is an LA Sparks fan that listens to this.
Is he a new LA Sparks fan or is he a long-time LA Sparks fan? There's a difference.
I know he was at least last year. I know for sure.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. It's not a difference. Lisa Leslie's their best. Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker. Nah, we see you, Black Saber Jr. Why you ain't go with Tulsa or Detroit and all them? Yeah, why not? You need to respond.
Hey, man, I remember back in the day, bro. Deanna Nolan on the Detroit Shock. That was the one. She was the one.
So, okay, you have to tell me the history. Detroit, where did they end up? Are they contracted?
Detroit turned into the Tulsa Shock, who turned into the Dallas Wings.
Okay. All right. So, all right. But I just hey, man, Black Saber Jr., you're not slick. You need to be.
But the Sparks, look. I know some dudes, they be having reservations about the WNBA. They don't be, want to get with the program. The Sparks is the team for you. And if you look at all the pictures of the team that's out there, you'll see why. And look, there's a specific effort. There's a recognized effort from people in the league that says this is what this team is. And the exact opposite, ladies, if you're listening to the Dallas Wings, studs for all.
My question is this. Do you think that it's actually
But the Sparks will never win this way.
It's too much of a coincidence. It's too many for just be a big coincidence. But it's like, do you think it's also the players want to go there and then like use the league and the team to then open opportunities for them in LA, in Hollywood? Do you think it's also that too? Or do you think it's just, it's basically Shawn Michaels is basically running the LA Sparks?
I don't know enough about their front office to say if there's something like that. But the thing is, like, there is no glamour franchise in the WNBA aside from the Fever. Everyone else is kind of on the same level, like no matter where you are in the country.
Right. So then it turns into the pluses of the region. It's like when it used to be like, hey, back when these guys were getting paid under the table, it's like, well, then why wouldn't you, if all things were equal, why wouldn't you want to play in like LA or Miami as opposed to playing in Tallahassee or Tuscaloosa if you could?
Mm-hmm.
Just if all things are equal. Cost of living, if you can offset the cost of living.
I guess like prior to last year, like it was just like these are all like the same level, like ain't nobody really standing out. Like, and then like, you know, the Liberty and Aces started picking it up a little. You know, with the Liberty ownership, they invested a lot into the team. Like as far as like now it's an arms race with all the buildings getting built, the facilities and shit like that. So like,
who got a new one recently?
Mercury, I think.
That's what it was. Because
I think the Mercury.
Because the beginning of last year, it was the Aces, and then it was Mercury. Yeah.
And then the Fevers is being built right now. I think it's gonna be like 2 years away or some shit like that. So,
okay,
know what they doing?
Yep. Please stay.
Yep.
Please.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
But yeah, I guess we should move on, man. So in WWE this past week, it was at WrestleMania, and it was like, yeah, man, they gonna start doing the corporate greed thing again, and y'all know what it is. It was time to fire some niggas.
Back to the old school of after WrestleMania, we firing people.
Yeah. And I think it's going to happen again, like the second half of the year. So strap in. So,
do you think it's enough time for them to hire back Strowman and fire him for a third time?
You could always return at SummerSlam. All right. So this is, I think this is a full list.
CYN seasoning?
I mean, EC3 out there, so they could restart. You know.
Did he really say that for real?
What's up? Nah, he didn't say that, but
he's stupid.
Why not? You know, there's always narratives need to be controlled, you know?
Boy. Okay.
Control your narrative. Run it back. Bigger and better. So, full list. Shayna Baszler, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Hayden Carter, Katana Chance, Gigi Dolan, Eddie Thorpe, Javier Bernal, Oro Mensah, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, Olive Gallus, Cora Jade, and Riley Osborne. This is interesting. When I saw this list immediately, I was like, all right, who would I actually want to see more wrestling of? I didn't really come up with much of an answer. I don't necessarily need to see more Shayna Baszler matches. It's been a long time since there's been anything there. Dakota Kai, she's been a hot topic. I think we should crack that open. Braun Strowman, I don't think there's much left there. And then everyone else just like, Riley Osborne, maybe you take a flyer on this guy or whatever, because I'm seeing the story with him is they want to. Yes, they wanted him to go to Evolve, and he was like, "Fuck that!" Like, I like that. That sound like Devolve. Like, no, like I ain't doing it. So they cut him. So I saw that, and I was like, "Hey, run it." But there was also Jakar Jackson, who was with Lash Legend and the Metaphor group. She was let go as well.
Terrible mistake.
I saw a lot of people talking positively about her. I've never seen her wrestle, so I can't tell you.
I have lots of positive things to say about Jakar Jackson. I will not talk about them right now. We'll move on and we'll talk about them once this show is done being recorded.
So Big CM couldn't save Cora Jade?
Guess not. Just a job. Last chance you. Can't shake up, can't rustle too many feathers.
No stroke. So let's talk about Dakota Kai.
Well,
Dakota Kai. So like she's always had people that she was very beloved amongst like some portion. She has a fan base, like let's not get it twisted. But then like it was weird because then I saw
Oklahoma, by the way.
Oh yeah, Oklahoma for sure.
Yes.
But
Go Pokes
then it was
in,
like
Go Pokes in also. Well, I can't say that because never mind.
So,
continue, Rich.
Dakota Kai. People were like, "Oh, she can go to AEW." Then like AEW fans jumping up like, "Nah, fuck that. Like we not like necessarily." We don't want to see her necessarily either. Look how old she is. Look how many times she's been injured. And, you know, I think people like think she's a great worker. She has this reputation, but it's like, where are the matches?
NXT.
Where's the recent history? Where is anything like,
right.
It's like, all right.
That stuff is 5 years ago. 6 years ago.
And then it's like, all right, I think people wanted to come in and then like they assume that, you know, oh, you can just use her to put people over.
Does she want to do that?
Exactly. Like, it's like, how can we be so sure somebody from WWE, one of Paul's kids, allegedly, is just going to come in and be like, yeah, I'll start putting my shoulders on the mat. Like, I don't necessarily like see the desire. Like, I don't think I would necessarily turn her away either. It would be like, okay, if you wanted to use her, do whatever. But it's like, I think also a lot of people would be like, yeah, she better not come in here and get pushed in front of fucking Willow or Statlander or anybody like that.
And it's funny because like Willow in if she goes by her old name Evie, like they would like aesthetically they absolutely would have been a tag team in the Indies if they were together at that time.
Can Dakota Kai come? If she comes to AEW, I only have one request. She got to bring the curls with her. But I don't know, man. What do you think about this Dakota Kai stuff?
I'm sorry, my screen froze. What do you say?
I said, if she comes in, she got to bring the
curls
with her.
No. I didn't hear you. So we're gonna move on. As far as Dakota Kai and AEW, I mean, she, you know, I think she have a role to fill. I think there are people in the locker room that love her, that are over there that have came from WWE, obviously. Like I would love to see it versus Willow. Love to see it versus Hayter, Statlander, Tony Storm. You know, that whole crew. The problem is they already got too many talented women. Like, they just put Athena on AEW television the first time in like a year and change. Right? She's not as good as Athena. So, and that seemed like a one and done deal. Like, I mean, if you want to put her in Ring of Honor, like her and, you know, Amanada and Mina, sure. If you want to give her that, if you want to start her there, yeah, sure. But AEW, if she wants to build from Ring of Honor to AEW, sure. But like, I think that outside of that, you're asking, it's too big of an ask, and then it'd be like, hey, are you okay with this? If she's okay with it, cool. Because I believe she's talented enough to you know have good matches. And she's a likable person. So, I would like to see what she would do if she wanted to come in and do business. But if she's not doing business, then take it to Impact.
Wasabi King says, if Tekla is coming, who's better today?
Ooh.
If it's for me,
I'm gonna have to
Tekla's
say
much
Tekla.
fresher
I'm gonna have to say Tekla because she to the audience, she has a higher ceiling because she's an unknown. And also she's younger.
Yep. I would take Tekla like 100 times out of 100 because it's like you've been exposed on WWE television, and it's not necessarily about the age. You have been exposed on WWE television since the Mae Young Classic, the first one.
Yep.
So it's
that
like
was 2017.
Like, who are we? Not like, nah, man. What about Shayna Baszler?
I think she's going to get a call because of the Marina stuff.
I agree.
If you want to throw an ROH, fine. But giving her some type of push. I think we're past the point of wanting to see that. Like, I don't want to see. First off, I was tired of it in NXT when she had that run and it went too long, right? Like, I don't want to see that in AEW where she's a champion and she has some type of. I don't want to see that. I have no.
Look, if the people that were like upset about the possibility of Megan Bayne beating Toni Storm, oh my God, if Shayna Baszler came and choked her out, they should want to storm the Capitol after that.
Shayna Baszler with Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke were doing in 2018 and 19 18 and 19, they were doing the proto Death Rider shit. It's an MMA champion that's doing slow MMA or whatever else around baby faces they're getting duped and beaten by the numbers game time and time again until someone finally beats them. It's the same premise.
Gallus. I have no interest in Gallus at all. I can't believe they lasted this long.
Same.
Look, them niggas got to work with The Rock last year, and they said fire him anyway. Don't give a fuck. Was this a message from Paul?
I didn't know they were still signed. I thought that they didn't come over when NXT Europe got closed or UK got closed. I had no idea. I did not know that.
Do y'all think The Rock called Gallus and was like, "Keep y'all head up"? Y'all know what this is. Look, was this a move of aggression from Paul Levesque? Oh, and also it is Paul Levesque. I don't think anybody listening to this show is trying to say, "Oh, it was out of his control." Everybody's smart listening to this show, but I know what y'all see on the internet. Was the Paul Levesque firing Gallus an act of aggression towards The Rock?
I don't think so. I think it's lowest on the totem pole, gotta go. Now,
Joe Coffey's story has finally ended, bro. Now, this nigga got a bigger push than damn near anybody out of NXT UK.
Remember when they had Pete Dunne try to carry that man and take over main events? Right. Remember that? And then eventually he got him the fuck out the way, and then Walter showed up, and we were like, "Thank God, thank God."
Yeah. Aiden and Katana. I got nothing for you, man. They had all these years. They had all these years to, do their thing, but
if they were men in the tag division, they still be on. But it's a tag team. It's a women's tag team. It is WWE.
This is an interesting one. I don't think your boy Carl Fredericks, Eddie Thorpe, they let go. You seen this guy in 2019 before the pandemic, even when he got promoted to his out to dojo, you would think this guy could have a chance to turn into a star. It's gone real bad for this guy.
Is he still dating Jamie Hayter?
No idea.
Okay. I think they were dating.
I don't know if he can necessarily just walk back in New Japan either. The way it ended, he was setting fire to the rain out there.
He was
on the way out.
Yeah, that. What's your boy from Beverly Hills 90210, where he said the crazy line about when I burn bridges, I hope the light shines the way or whatever else, which makes no fucking sense. Like if the bridge is on fire, your ass finna die. But yeah, that's exactly what Eddie Thorpe was doing on his way out of New Japan. That man wanted out. Like, wasn't there mental health like concerns too when he was doing that?
He was dating Dakota Kai.
He was dating Dakota Kai. Oh, okay,
that's what the chat is saying.
Okay.
I recall hearing about that. Yep.
Okay. It's hard to keep track of all this stuff.
Yeah. It is.
Because it's not really our business anyway. Just like, but we see pictures of whoever else, and you'd be like, "Wait, are they at some point? I don't remember." And then like years pass, you're like, "Weren't they? Were they not? I don't remember. Whatever happened. Don't give a fuck."
Yeah. Not really an inspired bunch. Feel sorry that these people got cut and stuff like that.
Because they have enough money to keep them hired if they needed to, if they wanted to.
Like
it's just
it all comes down to the they're trying to make up percentage points for TKO's debt. That's all it is.
Yep.
So
their numbers on the spreadsheet.
Yeah. So last week, AEW Dynamite. It's been a while since we've talked about the show, kind of week to week kind of stuff. Yeah, like they're on fire right now. And it's like it's really kind of
they're always good in spring. You go back and think about it. They're all like their best part of the year historically is always like the lead up to the summer. They get to, Anarchy in the Arena, Double or Nothing, the War Games shit, Blood and Guts. Like they tend to always, whatever's happening with them, they tend to always get their shit together or get their shit to the highest level of their year, typically, seemingly around this time of year, spring.
Yeah. So we kind of opened up with this 8-man tag, super friends match, and
party PWG match. Road to PWG match.
Yeah. It was the Young Bucks teaming up with Kazuchika Okada and Ricochet to take on Kenny Omega, Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Kevin Knight. And this week, it is Swerve Strickland, Mark Briscoe, and who was the third person? Speedball, I believe, against the Young Bucks and Ricochet, I believe. So like there was an original version of this match, of this 8-man. This was the backup version that you guys saw on the screen. I think you guys can kind of surmise with, the 6-man that's being booked, who was supposed to be in it. Mm-hmm. But, worked out how it worked out. It ended up with Okada getting the pin on Mark Briscoe. Before they did that, they basically had him running from Kenny the whole time, and just tons and tons of incredible spots, funny comedy, and just like a let your hair down party match. But they were clearly trying to like set things up. Okada and Omega, I think them being in, with each other, the crowd got the bell pop. They knew what it was.
Yep.
I feel like, I think, they do have to, whenever they start rolling this shit out for real, it can't be no half stepping. And, I've seen a lot of different people talk about it. Like Kenny Omega looks dead behind the eyes. I agree. It feels like he's quiet quitting. As they said on Tunnel Talk, something's going on. I don't know what it is.
Maybe he's sick again, because last time that happened, he was sick.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's like, it's been hard to really be invested in him since the Tokyo Dome for some reason. Like, it's just, there's been some type of disconnect that's going on there, and I'm noticing it, and I'm sure other people are. So, hopefully they figure that out. I think the Young Bucks are back on fire. I don't know what's got into them. If you just book them to work every week, they're just like, all right, we are the greatest tag team of all time, so we'll just do what we do.
It turns out them saying that like we didn't forget how to work is like, oh yeah, for some reason they thought they were doing the right thing by having worse matches like 6 months ago, which is like, why the fuck do y'all even do that? Why? Like that makes it even more frustrating. It's like, we chose to have shitty matches on purpose. Thanks for wasting our time.
I mean, the world champion currently doing that now, so like maybe he was inspired, But
get it out of my sport. That's my new shit. Any shit I don't like, get it out. It's gotta go. Cut the bullshit. It's gotta go, Rich. I've been saying this. I've been saying get blank out my sport for like a month to Rich. Off air. Sorry, y'all.
But I love this match. I think Kevin Knight and Speedball have like came into this promotion like a whirlwind. I think keeping them kind of linked up is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They both have unique styles, looks, and they feel, I think like I was having a conversation about Anthony Bowens in one of the many discords that I'm in comparison to Max Caster. And I, had predicted for a long time that Anthony Bowens would not be the successful one out of those two. I think there's still a lot of workshopping going on. I feel like it's almost too much workshopping going on. It feels like with Anthony Bowens, it feels like there's a think tank around his whole presentation and everything. And shit's not clicking for whatever reason. And Caster, the easiest thing you do is ham the mic, and then he'll lose to anybody. So of course he's going to start getting people to chant, to do his silly chant or whatever that he's started getting over now. Yeah. So it's like, at the same time, I didn't understand why so many people were put off or didn't understand the 5-tool player thing. Apparently baseball is not as popular as
it used to be.
I imagine. Yeah, I'm like, it's a 5-tool. It's a baseball thing. Like, it's like, it's just. But I just thought it was another way for them to say athletic black guy or whatever. It's the same thing as all the tools. It's all that same shit. Yeah. Right. So, and then he's got the Pride of Pro Wrestling. And then people were upset about him having two nicknames when motherfuckers have had two nicknames in wrestling as far as back.
The Heartbreak Kid, the Showstopper.
It's too much. Like, it's just like, all right. So like
the
when
Hitman,
I see
the Excellence of Execution, the Rattlesnake.
I brought it up because while it felt like with Bowens, there's so much. I think him being a traditional pro wrestler, it feels like, to where people are giving him all this traditional like advice. You should do this. You should do this. You should do this. Whatever. It'll work. He's got it. It seems like it's very carefully constructed. Kevin Knight, on the other hand, you cannot coach Kevin Knight. Like, because he rolls in and he's so unique. They speak differently. They have kind of they were trained differently. They have different things to offer in the ring. So it's like, Kevin Knight, you just got to roll the ball out and let him do his thing. And that's what I think they've done with him.
Yes.
And he's benefited.
Yes. Bro, in this match, when they did they put, I forgot who it was. They put somebody on somebody's shoulders. And then Kevin Knight hit the drop kick that sent him flipping over onto the Young Bucks. I was like, Jesus. Like, to basically like electric chair. I was like,
yeah.
Can't teach sleepers like that, man. You just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I love this opening match.
Rich, remember I told you when I turned on this game and it was like 16 minutes of the game that Shea had 15 points?
Yeah.
There's 2 minutes left in the game. He has 20. I've cursed this nigga, bro. I swear. I swear I've cursed. They're ahead, but whatever. The game's almost basically over, but it's like, fuck, man.
So then we got MJF and the Hurt Syndicate again. Somehow this is, people have gotten into this over the last, with the thumb down and up and all this shit.
Because he's trying to be an honorary Uso, Rich. That's what this is another version of this.
So this all kind of leads up.
Let the white guy in a group of minorities that we think are cool.
Yep.
It's working. I have no problem with it, but I see what it is. Right. It's him doing more WWE shit for now. And ultimately, when he said, I think, okay, go through the rundown. I think I can tell you where I think this leads.
So MJF tries to do the vote. MVP and Benjamin vote yes. Lashley milks it and still votes down. MJF got pissed and basically said, insulted him and all this shit, and basically like Lashley almost was like, what the fuck is you doing? Backs him up in the corner, was like, and he gives them, the key to the test, essentially. Like, you want to join us, you got to hurt somebody.
Yep.
You got to gang your way in the gang, essentially.
Right.
So I saw this, and I was like, "Oh, who's he gonna hurt?" Like,
oh, Hangman. Yeah. He's gonna fuck Hangman.
Love it.
Tunnel Talk, Trish and Sarah. I'm sorry, Trish and Sarah already know. Tunnel Talk, brace yourselves. You're gonna hate this. I hope Trish and Sarah have already been like, it's okay. Gently pet them. It's gonna be okay. Your precious Hangman will be okay. He's just gonna get fucked right now, but it's okay.
Man, I wonder what they would rather like. I guess I'll save it for when we get to the end of the show. So, we had Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné. They were trading words. They had a match with Toni Storm and Miyu.
Rich, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry. They just played that Jalen Green Wingstop commercial, and I gotta say, like, when you get bounced out the playoffs playing the way you do you be like,
"They need to yank your commercial.
Take my commercial down. I don't want them to see me right now. Take it down."
Yeah, on there eating chicken on national television, James.
Remember when I first saw that commercial, I was like, how many NBA stars turned this down because it's a nigga biting into some chicken before eventually they got to Jalen Green? Jay's like, I'll do a national commercial. I'm Jalen Green. I don't know if I'll ever make an all-star team. I may as well take this opportunity. I might score 38 in a playoff game. I might score 7 the other 6 fucking games in the playoffs. I'm that guy. Such a frustrating player. But when he's on, you're like, God damn, he's gonna get every chance in the world.
Bro, you got to, bro.
I
think too many people trying to give up on him too quick.
I agree. But when it don't work out and he gets to his 3rd contract and he a knucklehead or whatever else, he never figured it out. People gonna be like, he never figured it out. He'd be like, but you saw him play. You understand why teams are going to take all these chances on that dude. Because that kind of athleticism and talent is rare at that size and build. It's so frustrating. He's so frustrating. But anyway, back to the Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, so they had Miyu Yamashita came out, which I was kind of shocked by. And she wrestled Toni Storm.
I like this.
They had an alright match. Yeah,
I liked it.
A couple funny parts with the kicks to the ass,
yes,
and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a nice little showcase for Toni.
Yeah, this is better than the. Remember when they did that 1-on-1 where Thunder Rosa beat Miyu on the Princess show, Grand Princess show back in like 2022.
That one was. Yes, the match in Japan was way better than the one they had on
TV. Was, right. Yeah, like this match was way better than that rematch than that AEW. Like this is the best Miyu Yamashita singles big match that she's had in AEW. Like I like this match. I think it gave the kick in the ass stuff and the stuff with Luther. I think it gave Miyu some personality that she's a dangerous striker, but she also is funny. But yeah, I thought, and there was a point where I thought maybe she wins to get the eliminator, to get the title shot, but then she put her away. I was like, oh, okay, I see what this is going to be. And then they announced later in the show, it's her on Collision versus some Lady Frost. I was like, okay, she's just putting people in the dirt now, and that's fine for now.
Yeah. So, they're kind of hinting at it. Oh, I did not watch Mayu and Marigold. I did not. Did you see this? Apparently they booked Nanai versus Mayu and Marigold.
Yeah, that was on the Crooked Hall show from Sunday. I saw a headbutt spot, a shoot headbutt spot, but I didn't watch it yet. It's on the docket. If I had more time today, I would have watched it, but I had to do some shit. So unfortunately,
it had
Mayu Gold. I guess after I'm done uploading this show tonight. I hope it was great. That's a James Boyd 2019 dream match. Before Nanai had that foot and ankle injury and had to get that surgery that basically changed her athleticism, that would have been right up my alley. Right up my alley.
We had Nick Wayne beating Jay Lethal. I think the little thing with Nick Wayne and Christian is actually pretty interesting. Nick Wayne kind of firing back a little bit.
The crowd's getting behind him, it seems.
Haven't seen Jay Lethal in ages. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Where's
here.
Satnam? Where's Sanjay? Where's Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah. Oh no. They had the Death
Did they
Riders
tell
after
Jeff Jarrett
that.
to go home?
I don't know. You never quite know with Jeff Jarrett. He might just show up when you least expect.
Look, all I'll say is this: ever since they took him off TV, the TV going up. TV go up once Jeff Jarrett leaves.
Line went up.
Hey,
yeah.
Look, a story as old as time with Jeff Jarrett. By the way,
I did not talk about this, but FTR and Stokely Hathaway. I take. I don't think this is going to work, and I think that FTR was better off by themselves, and it's not going to work because nothing Stokely Hathaway does works.
I remember you pointed out to me the one time, and I was like, you know what? As much as funny as I think he is, as much as I think that he could do good work, you're right. It's always on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on the next thing. Like in kayfabe, you know what? If there was a storyline in kayfabe
always
that
a step too cute.
If I was gonna say this, if there was a storyline in kayfabe that he keeps in this shit where it stops and starts because he's an entrepreneur and he's hustling, and that's how he keeps getting into things, getting out of them. I would find that be interesting because like that actually mirrors what happens with a lot of these dudes that are hustlers. Is like they on to the next scam, right?
Yeah.
But and that is a part of it. His heeldom.
We're supposed to take it at face value,
but that's not the actual intention. This shit gets stop and start with him all the time. Like, is he the Leo Rush of managers? Where it's like, he's so talented, but he can't sit his ass still somewhere and grow roots. Damn it.
So it's like the things that he's good at is like, I don't know if it necessarily, like, he's funny as fuck, like in a certain context, but like when it's like, he'll like just, it's like, all right, man, I know you got to throw your joke in about living single, but like, I don't know if this is like necessarily productive to the goal. And I thought FCR had it going kind of by themselves as like kind of delusional, but also kind of going crazy at the same time. And I think sticking with Stokely with him is like putting a hat on a hat, because I feel like you're handicapping Dax. I feel like you're kind of handicapping even Cash. Like now you have no reason to ever handicap. Yeah, like from what they were doing, and I think I don't love it. Like, and you know, it could.
I'm willing to give it burn because like I'm willing to give it burn because Stokely, because I think that FTR has caught something with the Shivani involvement stuff, right? And also Stokely is so talented, I'm willing to give him opportunities until there's enough. There'll be a point where I'm like, all right, enough. It's been enough to submit too many soft stars. I haven't reached that point yet because I like him. But yeah, if this goes wrong, we can go back to this conversation and be like, yep, we spotted like another situation that he get himself into and it just doesn't work itself out. Oh, Shane scored a basket. 7 points in 3 quarters. Yay! Yay!
Look at that. Oh, so
and that was like, that put them up 3 with 10 seconds left as it's about to be like a foul shooting situation. So
I'm kind of just unsure because look, the Hurt guys got the belts. The Young Bucks are also healed. So it's like you have these 3 heel acts now. It's like everybody's on the wrong side. Somebody got to turn, and then like it just like.
Do you think that? I think they're soft launching Bailey and Kevin Knight as a tag team.
Oh, I mean they are also there. Yes.
Yeah. So you have that, and then obviously you have FTR doing the stuff with O'Reilly and Strong right now. So yeah. So and then the Young Bucks will get into something because they ain't come back for nothing. They leave here with something.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's another super match that's going to be announced.
I didn't want to.
Well, I mean, we gonna let that ride.
Yeah.
But Death Riders, or excuse me, they had the Ops, excuse me, had a squash match over Nick Komoroto, who we haven't seen in ages. Rhett Titus from ROH and someone named Miles Hawkins. They killed them. And then Samoa Joe basically issued a challenge to Moxley after. And for their upcoming AEW World Title match. They made it a steel cage match.
Won the match, and then they attacked. Death Riders attacked, which led to Cesaro giving Shibata like the thing that ended up putting Hook on the shelf, where he's like drop him basically abdomen first onto a part of a steel chair. So then Joe said, well, fuck it, let's make it a steel cage, because you say you want this, but you've been running. I'll make sure that you don't get what you asked for. Let's do a steel cage. And they made a steel cage. I think that was it. I think that was the best thing those two could do, is go in there and get themselves an excuse to bleed.
Yeah. Steel cage match. I mean, maybe it'll work. I don't know.
If the steel cage don't match, the regular rules match wouldn't have worked either.
Yeah. Like Jon Moxley and Samoa Joe in 2025, especially the way Jon Moxley has been working.
Moving like a degenerate.
Look, Joe can talk us into the building. That ain't never the problem. It's just I don't see these dudes when they start hitting each other. It don't feel like it's gonna they're not gonna hit each other and sparks gonna happen. That's not gonna be it. It's just gonna be niggas hitting each other back and forth. I feel like, you know how they say sparks fly, love at first sight. Like, it's just an explosion of just. I don't get that vibe with Moxley and Samoa Joe's wrestling styles. Like, it don't seem like that's it.
I get what you're saying, but would you disagree? Would you disagree with the same? Like, hey, the best option they have is to put it in the cage and they start bleeding. Because if it ain't gonna work with that, it ain't gonna work in a regular rules match either.
With the blood, I just think they're going to do a bunch of run-ins too, so it's going to...
I could see them fucking cutting through the apron, or cutting through the mat to get into the ring, or climbing the fucking thing.
Also, they just did a steel cage match 2 months ago at Revolution. I know it's like, can we at least get a 3-month embargo on the steel cage match? Like, guess not, but whatever. Then we got the main event. In Norfolk, Hangman Page versus Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals of the Owen Hart Classic. Kyle Fletcher, was in the back in a promo with Callis. Callis just sounded fucking insane. Kyle Fletcher's pumping and stuff like that. Like, bro, this nigga's a cyborg.
Wait, Denver won this game?
Denver won?
I just remember I remember OKC being up 3, and then like doing the podcast, and I paying attention. I started looking like Aaron Gordon's like they just ganged up on Aaron Gordon.
Russ. Westbrook, nigga. Okay. Main event: Hangman Page against Kyle Fletcher. The winner gets Will Ospreay. I think when they booked this out on paper, I guess the idea is supposed to be, it can go either way or whatever, because Fletcher and Ospreay have done it a bunch of times, but I'm like, they blew their feud off already. Like,
yeah,
they're not doing that again.
Right.
Like, this was always going to be Hangman versus Ospreay here. I like this match a lot. I thought the finishing idea was great. I thought the crowd bought it hook, line, and sinker that they were about to get fucked. And then the 2 buckshots at the end, really loved it. I thought Hangman felt big in this moment. Pause. But
go ahead, Rich.
Childish
man.
It was just it's a really great tournament, man. Really good tournament, and we're locked in with Page versus Ospreay now. The match that I think the last year of AEW has kind of been circling around and leading to. They was all going to have to go against each other at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But look, I can't really get invested in this. Like, perhaps if I felt like one of them was actually going to win at All In, I would be a little more excited here. But
so I watched this match in the last 2 hours, and I thought this match was Fletcher and Hangman. I thought the match was fucking great, and I thought it was great because it was great in a way of late AEW TV matches have not been. It was a more traditional pro wrestling match as opposed to an indie fest. Nothing wrong with what happened in the opening match of Dynamite. That match was fucking great. But it was like, it felt like, in a way, we haven't seen a match like this since like Danielson's retired, where it's like, this is a match that is at a certain pace and it's just going to build and get better and better and better. Like it's on a slow cooker, and it's just like the pressure's building, and like, and it just all of a sudden it's just awesome. Right. I just love this match. And like, I think it's the first time I remember seeing, like, Ospreay has tons of these matches. Don't let no one fool you. He has tons of matches that build like this too. But like Fletcher being in the Ospreay, world, if you will, for a lot of his run in AEW, it feels like he only knows how to wrestle like almost like a high speed style, to an extent, or the Ospreay, Sugar Rush style. And it's like, it's nice to know that, like, oh, he can also do this. It's fun to know that. So Hangman in there, I mean, it was just like, it was just so fun. And then all of a sudden, like, in the way that, like, Fletcher saved, like, those running kicks that he does towards the end of the match too, it had more effect. I love the match. It was fucking awesome. Like, that shit made me 4 3/4. That shit was great.
I think that's what Dave gave it. I think
that shit was great, bro. I love that match. It was like, those two could have went out there and had a Laser Light show, but they decided, we'll say that for some other time. We can do that some other time. But we can do this as hard hitting style. And like, I feel like, obviously, Heyman can wrestle in any style, but like, I feel like in this match in particular, he leaned in on the brawler, and it wasn't like like the actual like punishing babyface. It was fun. It was fun. I mean, what more can you say about Hangman in the ring, man? Like, bro, the nigga's he's one of the best of his generation, and like, he's gonna go down as one of the best ever if he stays healthy or still wants to do this. Yeah, if he's not already there in your eyes. If you're someone that's still on the fence about him, nah, man. If you're one of these people that listen to our show thinks he's an empty-headed dumb fuck, I'm sorry.
I think what I like
once
about
that bell
Hangman
goes ding,
is
ding,
that
ding, the stars start flying out the sky.
You can put him with anybody, as you mentioned, any style.
Like, I would love to see him wrestle Bret Hart. Oh my god.
Like, bro, I can't think of a great wrestler that'd be like, I don't really think, it
like,
would go.
Maybe the thing would be like, bigger guys, it might be too goofy looking or whatever else, but even then it was
Hangman versus McIntyre, that would fucking rule. Hangman versus Walter.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, a guy that won, I mean, because those styles are compatible. No, the styles are compatible. But I mean, like, him versus, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if him versus Scott Norton would be the most fun thing in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he got
him
some
versus
out of
Scott Steiner. I don't know if it'd be the
day.
most fun thing in the world. But he could have absolute slobber knockers with McIntyre because obviously the eras match up in the styles. Yeah, bro. Those two guys would match up styles. Yeah.
Heyman versus Vader would have been incredible, Haven, because the thing is, Vader,
he would have relied on story on that one as opposed to just go out there and just, guns blazing against a dude that's way bigger than him. Like for example, right? I think him versus Prime Samoa Joe would have been fucking awesome.
Right.
Him versus Prime Samoa Joe would have been fucking awesome. Like, but I don't know how good it would have been. But I don't know how good how much I would have liked or how weird it would have been to see him like at this stage right now, right? Him versus like Prime Kenta Kobashi, it would have been great, but like would have been like Hangman ain't really about the high neck drop shit necessarily. He'll do it, but he don't love it.
He did it with Kenny, yeah.
Yeah, he'll do it, but he don't love it, right?
I mean, Hangman and Takeshita is basically like the modern version of that, and that shit ruled too.
Yeah, yeah, but Takeshita got more indie in him than Kobashi does. Kobashi got CTE in him. Actually, ain't CTE is I don't care if I die.
Oh, die in this ring.
If someone dies. It is what it is.
So, Ospreay versus Hangman at Double or Nothing. I think it's Will that's winning.
Under on the star rating, Rich. 5.5.
Yeah.
The Dave Meltzer star rating. The Dave Meltzer. I'm saying that shit at 5.5.
5.5 minimum. I think we're talking about here. Like
nuts.
And then like we're gonna like go from there. Like it depends on what the finish is. If they decide to fuck with the finish, if this is a clean match,
oh yeah,
5.5.
I forgot about the MJF factor.
Look,
I forgot.
I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Earlier. Forgot that quick.
To shoot you some bail. I don't know if they're gonna do that. That could happen after the match. It could happen whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer if it's a clean match for obvious reasons.
Right.
I would just rather like I don't want it to have people be like they fucked them, like it's like, and it feels like whoever win didn't earn it. Like, you know, it's like if you're gonna crown a tournament winner, let the tournament winner fucking win. And they've been good at that. They have not fucked tournament winners like out. They might do shit like in the C2 where there's bullshit finishes along the way, but in the final, like they're not gonna do that.
Well, some people would disagree and say that when Danielson hit Paige with that schoolboy, it was outright robbery and it was goddamn injustice. Some people are these people normal people that are working in good faith? I don't necessarily think so, but you know, when they messaged me about this, oh boy. When Trish and Sarah and Tunnel Top messaged me about this, oh boy.
Yeah,
they was pissed. Remember how pissed they were? Oh my goodness. You would have thought Danielson shot him with a gun in the middle of the ring.
I mean, look, in this promotion, they seem to think that doing a roll up is like protection or whatever. So, but I think there's a disconnect with fans that see that as bullshit. So it's like, I don't know, because like, I think that's WWE training, and I know some people didn't watch WWE for that, and you know, but when people do these roll up finishes, like they're kind of designed. And like newsflash, I remember like when Toni Storm started doing that thing as a rookie, it was a good way for her to do the same to beat people without really quote unquote beating them
without finishing them. Yeah. Rich.
That's just how she beat Megan Bain.
Right, Rich. Nikola Jokic tonight. He is the fourth person in a playoff game to ever have 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 5 assists.
The last person to do it was Giannis. The time before that was Shaq, and the other 2 times were Wilt. 40-25.
Look, man, I'm rooting for the Nuggets, bro. I'm rooting for the Nuggets. I want Russ to get one so bad. I want Russ to get one. Ride that big, where is he from?
Serbia.
Ride the Serbian. Over there.
I'm glad you stopped yourself. You like, boy, if you had just brought out what you were saying, I'm like, that shit finna sound racist as fuck. Ride that big what? The what? Excuse me, sir? They be like, I need to stop this show and if show apology. Do I also need to say pause at the same time? Like,
so, how much is Ospreay and Heyman gonna blow the fan base up?
Oh boy.
It might be C4 nasty. Like, I don't think it could be worse than last. Look, I don't know. I think last year
it could.
Look, the caution and the warnings about last year, I feel like it was warranted still. But
here's what I'm gonna say. If you are a person that believes that this belt is being saved until Darby comes down from that fucking mountain, then you may as well just say, let Ospreay win this one. Because I think that the Hangman stand base can stomach losing to Will Ospreay. They cannot stomach losing to this version of Jon Moxley. That might be their final straw. That might be their 13th reason why.
You know, I feel like it's the other way around for some reason. Because Mox isn't
while you beat Ospreay in the biggest match he's ever had in his career up to that point in that arena.
I think that Mox isn't necessarily a contemporary of Hangman's and Ospreay's competition. to him, and like.
But you know they're gonna wrestle again in like 500 times.
Maybe I don't know.
I mean, unless Hangman hangs it up, they're gonna wrestle. They're gonna see each other again the same way that like people were talking about. Hangman and MJF. Like it's been 5 years. That they've been away from each other. Now they keep coming back to each other. Like they're eventually gonna have their time together. It's just someone has to win the first one.
Yeah. I don't know. If it's me, I'm not wasting either of these fucking guys on Jon Moxley. I think it's tragic. It's a tragic end for both of them.
What do you do?
And I don't think
you strip him of the belt with no loss and no injury. You say, hey, fuck it. We take the belt off you because you sucked. And it make
look, Okada and Omega is actually unifying that shit and starting a new belt. Like at All In.
Oh my god.
Oh,
you know how nasty that would be to kill the title lineage of the AEW World Championship because of Jon Moxley bad reign, but not the CM Punk shit. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're playing with all right. 'Cause I think Will Ospreay's gonna win, right? In that case, I think they're playing with fire with Ospreay. Like, I think they need to just fuck around and get to it.
That's my thing, right? If Ospreay, I believe that if Ospreay wins, like the odds of him leaving with the belt are higher than Hangman if he were to win and then go to All in Texas.
One more time, repeat that.
Okay, so I think the odds of so if Ospreay wins at Double or Nothing, I think his odds of leaving with the AEW World Title at All in Texas are higher than Hangman's if Hangman were to win this match at Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be people gonna be in this. Like, you really gonna do this after we had these matches in fucking Wembley at All In? He's Mr. All In basically, and now you finna beat this dude after he put over Swerve last year and been a good soldier, putting people over left and right, and all these big and these high leverage moments all these times, and now he's finna lose after he just helped make Fletcher a guy for you. Now it's time for him to lose. To this shit?
It's a bad idea, bro. It's a bad idea. They should not let it happen. Someone should stand up backstage and be willing to quit the company over beating Will Ospreay at All In. I'm gonna just say it.
I mean, you can honestly make the same case for Hangman. I'm just saying, like, at least Hangman's been around enough to where, like, you'd be like, all right, man. Like, apparently it's never happening for you again, or it's never happened to you again in this circumstance. It's for somebody else. But other people will be like, hey man, this Darby shit is not harder than what Will Ospreay's doing. I'm sorry. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And you can honestly say the same thing about Hangman, but it's like, Hangman, you be like, Tony, we know you're still mad at him about workers' rights and you led to your favorite toy fucking leaving for WWE, or you being forced to have to let him go to WWE. But whatever. So people that are going to be there for a long time will be like, all right, we get it. But like, you really going to look at Christopher Daniels in the face and be like, or not Christopher Daniels, you're really going to look at all these people backstage and be like, yeah, Ospreay's the best wrestler in the world, but we got to roll with this shit because we got to get a Darby Allin because it was his dream to come back after not being on TV for 5 fucking months to win the title. Fuck out of here.
And I always go back to the C2. They had Darby beat Will clean in that. Something about me thinks they're like, that's coming back in some form or fashion. Like whether it's like, like I don't know. It just makes me think they're gonna go back to that for some reason. But I wish I could say I feel like Hangman's gonna win, but I just don't see it. Like, and I don't know what he's gonna do at All In at that case, but there's a lot of great wrestlers everywhere. It's just like I think they're scrambling to like figure out where the pieces are gonna fit, and like I don't know where a lot of people are gonna end up at All In, honestly.
Yeah, but it does seem like we're on a collision course for Tony Storm versus Mercedes, right?
Maybe. That's another good conversation we need to bring up. Like with Jamie Hayter too. Jamie Hayter went to the finals. I think I would just do Tony and Mercedes because, like, I think it would be asking a lot to make people care about something that happened prior to Timeless Tony Storm. with
Yeah.
Hayter, especially like Hayter is not like she is not like I don't think people are into her right now.
Well, she hasn't done. I mean, she just has spot matches here and there, and like the closest thing you have to her storyline since she came back really is like this Owen tournament and like the Julia Hart series, or the 1-1. So she's been around for basically a year, and she ain't really done much. And I think it was like, hey, you know, when you left, you were at this level. And we don't really see that for you in this way because we have Mercedes in here now. Tony Storm took the fuck off. Willow got off the ground. Stats got off the ground. We're going to run with them. And then she was like, well, do you want to do programs with them? And she's probably like, no, because I got a job to them.
Yeah.
See, that's what it kind of feels like.
That would happen. But it's like, it clearly kept them apart. I'll say that.
Right.
Like, they clearly did it until like a certain time where they could blow. That's why the tournament was actually kind of exciting because we actually got to see some of the top women compete with each other, and we saw Willow strategically kind of be. We saw Willow be strategically not put in this tournament, so like that makes me wonder where she's going to end up. Like, because I'm like, all right, Tony's got one belt, Mercedes got the other. It's like, all right, are they going to put them all on one person? Does that make sense? What is the plan here? It seems like it's all kind of like I see the pieces moving. I just don't know how it's all going to land yet.
What was the line? I forgot what it was. I think it might have been Get Rich or Die Trying, but like it was some dude that was like some bossed up dude, right? And he was talking about like, you know, he's like, I'm God, Jesus, and Allah rolled up into one big nigga. Like if Mercedes Moné is the TBS champion, the Rev Pro champion, the New Japan Strong champion, and then also if it also becomes the AEW World Champion, she's just gonna be all that rolled up into one big nigga. Just the boss. I'm the biggest boss that you've seen thus far. Like she
is like, God, Jesus,
bro.
You saying, James, that she is God, Jesus, and Jay-Z?
Yeah, bro. You may as well right now, if she does that, you may as well, even right now I still think it, but like, you may as well go ahead and get that PWI photo shoot ready for number one, because she's already gonna be number one any damn way, but that'll put her all the way over the top. Yeah. Yeah, we got this belt just to make sure, just in case you thought you was finna hate, we add this one so you have a fifth belt for the photo shoot.
Oh man, that'd be so funny. Tony was out here booking shit just to do that. Oh my god.
I mean, it ain't like. At the beginning, it was like the way these title reigns were going. It was like, okay, it coincides to make sure these people fit in these particular windows. It ain't exactly a surprise or a shock.
That's funny.
That's I know Moxley. I was like, hey, why are you not getting this belt off John Moxley? He has no shot.
None.
That nigga finna finish like fifth and shit.
Bro, is he gonna rank?
Oh, he's gonna rank because of the belt in the reign for so long, just in kayfabe. But yeah.
Oh, I'm saying if we like talking about like Flair Thez and shit.
Oh, like, absolutely not. He's not even finishing honorable mention. He's gonna finish number one on most overrated this year.
Oh yeah, he should.
Yeah. Worst gimmick, Death Riders. Yeah.
Willow and Chris got to get their revenge at some point. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed this, but like her and Renee put over, I am 25-0 in singles matches in AEW. They put that over.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I had a conversation with the young boy Josh Smith, and he was arguing that, you should probably beat Mercedes with Tony here. But I don't know if you do that either. Like, because it's like, all right, if this is the highest stage, right, we got them to, how can they make money in the future? Who would benefit? Who do you spin a loss off of? Either you're putting all the chips on Red, which is Mercedes or whatever.
Yep.
Or you're putting all the chips on Tony or whatever. Either way, but it's like, I don't.
The win because it's like it's almost like
all
she's already made. Like if you're sorry, go ahead.
was gonna say, but like, wouldn't you say Mercedes is made too? And I would think Tony Storm is way more popular. So like,
these two people are both made. So like, so my point is like, Mercedes' first win or first loss needs to be given to someone else besides, like, it's like giving the Undertaker, not necessarily the same thing, but like in a lower stakes situation, like it's like giving the Undertaker's undefeated streak to Brock Lesnar. No, it should have went to Roman Reigns.
Right,
you're trying to make somebody. What the fuck are we doing here? Brock Lesnar's already been made.
Right. Because it feels like I feel like Willow strategically is held out of this tournament, and her wins, so the Statlanders, are tied with Mercedes. Mm-hmm. Tony Storm does not have as many loose ends hanging around like that. So like, it feels like Mercedes. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and she's beat Athena, so
right.
It was just like, that's not even a loose end
That was the
anymore.
one that would have made a lot of sense too. Like, all right, this is her reintroduction to AEW. She beats her, and then like, you know, but yeah, like, and also another thing was like, you don't give Mercedes first loss where she doesn't, and then she doesn't come off these belts. So like, she loses, and then she's gonna still hold on to these belts for another how many months? Like, her first loss needs to be her losing, coming off one of these belts, so she can start handing them back off to different companies. She's not gonna be champion forever. Like, but at the same time, it's like her first loss used to be for the TBS title. It can't be for the Red Pro title. It can't be for New Japan Strong. Her first title loss or first loss needs to be AEW television or pay per view.
Last I said, this is why I think Mercedes is going to lose the hater and give her integrity, and Mercedes can face Willow at All In. I think putting Hater in with Tony at this point, like, that takes it, like, all right, you could make, I think you'd ultimately be wrong, but you could make a argument for Tony and Mercedes to actually main event the show if you wanted. I think you'd be wrong, but you could actually make that argument, right? But if it's Jamie Hayter, you have no argument whatsoever.
Right, right. And here's another thing. Forget the all-in part, right? Forget the all-in part. Just the part where it's like, Jamie has done nothing for a year, basically. Next to nothing for a year. She would beat one of the highest paid wrestlers in the company. And then she goes on and she faces the most popular woman in the division. And the show's not even the fucking UK anymore. It's in Texas.
She would have to turn heel to do it. Like, there's no, if she beats both of these, she beats the two. You tell me she's going to beat the two most popular people in the company back to back, and she's a babyface? No,
right?
They
don't. Look, they had a reason to love her before. They don't have a reason to love her anymore right now. Like, if they did that, they would have to turn Jamie heel. And don't get me wrong, look, Jamie Hayter's a very fun heel. We saw her in Oedo Tai, right? But it's never really been that outside of being a heavy for Britt.
I think it'd be a perfect time to, because like,
it would give her a fresh coat of paint as opposed to, you know, her dressing like she's still in like 50 years ago. I don't mind the look. I'm just saying, but like, there's no character. There's no character to it. It's just, she's just dressing like that now, or has been dressing like that. Because ain't no new development. It's been around.
You got those top four or whatever: Mercedes, Stat, Willow, like all Tony. They're all big baby faces. The only other heel right there is like Megan Bain. So it's like, flip somebody, and it looks like it's going to be her.
Yeah, well, I tell you, that Mercedes and Megan Bain match is going to be fire. Whenever they get to that, that's going to be a smoker.
Bro, the day she folds Mercedes up like an accordion with that German suplex, oh my god.
Yep.
Mercedes going to look like she died.
Yep.
That Kamaki B. Priestley about to come back. That's another heel. Look, what if B re-debuts with her or whatever, and then they're a unit, essentially.
I'll believe that when I see it.
They not. Never mind.
We're not talking about it. Just, you know, we're not talking about it. I think we're more likely to see B in Marigold or Stardom. That's all I'll say.
Drew Haven says, what do you guys think of the POV that Ospreay doesn't have a crowd connection?
Liars.
I would ask them to ensure that their television volumes are working.
Yeah.
And
like, they seem real connected when they yell out Osprey during this fucking entrance.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh, he says he sees it in Discord a lot. I mean, I don't know, man. I think with Will, like, I've seen people want to call for him to suffer and all this stuff. For me, it just sounds like you just want this guy to lose and get out the way.
It's been over.
It's like,
he's already suffered. What the fuck are we talking about?
Like, I think they just want him to lose and get out the way. That's what that's code for. Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what that is. That is, I want my favorite to win, not him. He's not my favorite. And I don't think, okay, so maybe by connection he means there aren't any like Hangman stands, Swerve stands, Omega stands. Maybe that's what he means. And I think that's kind of fair, but I think also people recognize that, like, this dude is the best wrestler in the world, and he has never missed on AEW pay-per-view. So I think people are like, hey man, the work speaks for itself. A guy like this needs to be a champion at some point. I think most reasonable people would believe that to watch AEW, like, yo, this is the best guy. Eventually he's going to be the champion, or should be the champion. And you know, will we live and die with him? Maybe someday, maybe we have before, but he's not necessarily my favorite. And I think that's okay. Like, I don't necessarily think that Cody is everybody's favorite in WWE either. I think most people like you know, the OTC the most. But Cody does good work, so therefore they're cool with it for now. Or before Cena
and like
did that bullshit in WrestleMania and took the belt. That's what I meant.
I feel like if you're in that class, like that sub 35 super worker class, that it can literally turn on any of them and they could all like have the belt. So like,
right,
and they all have fan bases too, and it's like they're gonna take losses or whatever. Like Swerve lost against Moxley, and like people wanted to shut the company down.
Right,
like
that's my point.
So
like they don't have that. They don't have that, or I don't think Osprey necessarily has that kind of connection with the fan base in that way outside of like the Fletcher stuff so far in AEW. But that's fine, because if he loses, what do you think's gonna happen?
I say if he
people are gonna be like, this is bullshit. Why the fuck did he lose?
It's like I think it's gonna be catastrophic. Like, I think it's such a bad idea for him to lose.
It is,
on one hand, but like it's like if he loses again, it takes away all excuses for anyone the next time that he challenges or whatever. In that case, but yeah, I just think honestly somebody should stand up in the room and be like, if you beat this guy, I fucking quit. Like it really should.
Lost to Swerve last year, lost the C2 final to Okada, and then last year. What the fuck are we doing? Shit or get off the pot?
He's just the best fucking guy. Like, it's just like
whoever wins the Owen should be the next champion. Period.
Right.
Pick one. I don't give a shit. Pick one.
But like, I feel like the person that they pick not winning. Like,
right.
So we are kind of still like in this situation where it's like, I feel like the shootout that needs to happen between, we're not actually picking between these guys. We're picking between who's about to do a job right now. We're not picking about who's actually going to like the shootout last year. I think was warranted.
Contender of the month.
Like the shootout last year was warranted. I feel like this year is the stakes ain't the same. I don't think. So, yeah. I wonder what he's doing at Forbidden Door, because that's in London. So I don't know, what was going on there. But we will see what happens with Will and what happens with Hangman. But till then, the World Championship will remain in the briefcase. Shameful. Shambolic. Now, moving on.
There's something else?
I wanted to quickly talk about this Tam Nakano thing.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, Sonny
Gutierrez.
I hear a lot of people speak about the guy. I don't even know what this guy looks like, or I've even heard his voice. I don't think so.
Okay. So for those that don't know, Sonny is the former English or Japanese to English translator for Stardom. Like, so the person that used to be in charge of doing all the translations and video editing, he was in charge of that for Stardom. And then he moved on to Marigold with Rossi and Utami and Julia and so forth and so on.
So there's a Reddit post that basically said like Sonny Gutierrez has been unprofessional, airing dirty laundry about Stardom and his wrestlers on Twitter and the WON, which is the Observer forums, for his own purposes. That's said, true. During the English commentary for Marigold's Cork and Hall show today, he revealed that the three wrestlers encouraging Rossi Ogawa to leave Stardom and found a new promotion that would eventually be Marigold were Mayu Iwatani, Julia, and Tam Nakano.
Mm-hmm.
It's been assumed that Nakano benefited more from the Bushi Road ownership of Stardom than just about anybody, and has been a 100% company woman since then. I'm not sure what Sonny's game is here, but I'm sure he has one, the poster says. Mm-hmm. I can't decide if I'm supposed to be intrigued by the implications of his comment or repulsed by his constant politicking. So if this is true, I mean, isn't this an example of all-time great working?
If it went down that way, yeah. So at the time when Rossi got fired, let's go back even further. So when I first started watching Stardom, Tam was like she was in the office. She was doing office work as well as wrestling. Like she would, like when they did press conferences for Cork and Halls, she would do the announcements at the start before they got to the wrestler interviews. So like she was in the office doing stuff for them. And then like when they were doing voiceover stuff for like We Are Stardom recaps or whatever else, once Bushiroad acquired them, she was doing the voiceovers. It was normally her, Natsuko, and Kamitani. Rich, what did those three are all linked together through Tam Nakano, so yeah, so for me, obviously after she won the white belt, right? That photo shoot that they took, her and Rossi together, and Tam Rossi sitting in the chair next to his big money star, and Tam smiling. Like they've always had a good relationship apparently, or what it seemed like. So it didn't surprise me at all. And when, they announced Marigold moved forward to like that, Rossi was fired and Rossi is then starting, the promotion that will come Marigold, I was like on the fence thinking like, okay, I know that means Mayu's at play is a real threat to leave. I know Julia's at play is a real threat to leave, given what happened with her red belt reign going short, and Bushiroad wanted her to work with Mayuki, and she didn't want to work with Mayuki, so they did the draw thing, that double count out thing. If Mayu's at play, that means Tam's definitely at play in this. And if Tam, and I'm like, all right, so, and if Julia and Mayu are at play, maybe Shuri's at play. So I was like, hey man, remember when they did that new generation shit versus old generation shit? In the spring of 2023, when it was like Mayu, Tam, Julia, and Shuri versus like the golden generation.
Generational struggle.
The generation, that's what it's called. Yep. I was saying to myself, all right, it might be all them old heads leaving from Marigold. And I was like, based off of loyalties to certain wrestlers, it might be a trickle down. So it's like, if Mayu leaves, that mean like FWC leaves? Does that mean that like Ida leaves? Does that mean that Starlight Kid leaves? If Shuri leaves, that mean does Azumi leave? If
small question, 100 what was it?
Oh God, I know you're gonna say. Since you mentioned Ida, so people talk about 100 men versus a gorilla. Our friend Zach Porter wanted to ask us 100 Waka Tsukiyamas versus one Saya Ida.
One giant Saya.
I'm taking Saida myself.
Yeah, I think I'll take the giant Ida, the one giant Ida before fast, and I'll take the one gorilla, to be honest with you. Wonka can't do nothing to her. Ida a fucking tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, man. Nah. Ida fold her in half. One shot, son. Remember Jersey Shore, one shot. But yeah, so for me, I felt like all the stuff was at play before, and then ultimately it played out how it played out. The Exodus wasn't nearly, it was nothing approaching the Noah shit. When I thought it had the potential to be, because I was like, all right, if Tam's at play, that means Kamatati's at play. And then we found out who Tommy was at play. It was like, does that mean Kamatati's at play? So, I just felt like all people's loyalty, people were to move and shake, and ultimately the shaking wasn't, not too many fruit fell off the tree when Rossi left. Obviously Mayu wanted to leave it first, but then wasn't allowed to because of her contractual obligations. But her first chance she got, she's in Mayu gold now. She's out of there. And I do not think that it is a coincidence that Tam's last show is also Mayu's last Stardom show. I think that like Tam was like, I can't do this without you. If you gone, I'm gone, but I ain't going there. So yeah, because but anyway, because like Mayu does not, or Tam does not become the wrestler she becomes, builds herself into without Mayu showing her how to become a better wrestler. Because Tam used to stink, flat out rotten, was a rotten wrestler, and then basically from early 2018 went from rotten to one of the best wrestlers of her era from that time to now. So yeah, so there's a lot of.
So if she essentially said, "Hey, y'all go ahead, y'all go over there with it," all y'all go jump.
That's finesse play.
All y'all go over there and do y'all thing. I'm gonna stay here.
Yeah.
And they ain't got nobody else but to push but me.
I mean, she was
my circle.
Remember, she was already the champion. She was already champion before Rossi got
agreed, but you can stay champion longer or have less people.
Well, I'm gonna get to it. So the thought is, because Tam is everybody, people like Mayu, people like Shuri, people like Julia, people like did I say Shuri, Mayu, Tam, Julia, like they all had their own pockets of people that they could, if they leave. Like Mai Sakurai, she said, I'm going to Marigold because Julia's gonna be there, and then Julia ain't there no more. Right? Mayu, when Mayu left, or actually Mayu couldn't leave, so like when they did the interviews about it or whatever else, I remember it was one with Ida. Ida was like, if Mayu had left, I would have left too. I think this was Yuji Nagata. And then Mayu out here looking guilty as fuck and not want to say nothing during the interview. Right? So yeah, like I think I how this all went, Tam, y'all leaving? I might leave. Maybe she changed her mind, maybe she knew get them out the door. I'm going to fill this power void. And then, last year,
somebody got to shoot these shots now.
The last, how many months? The last half of last year, everyone, there was all this talk about like Tam being a shadow booker. Toru Okada talking about how Tam helps her with the booking. She's a champ. She gets her second reign with the red belt. She puts over her protege. And then she proceeds to make her protege the ace on her way out. For necessary of the year type shit. Truly.
That's hilarious.
If we ever find out if that was the actual intention or if it just worked out that way. But either way, it still worked out in her favor. Tremendously.
Basic.
Oh yeah. Also, Sayaka won the Cinderella tournament. Forgot about that part too.
So like
that's where got her white belt
Mayu on the way out. Someone said Starlight Kid couldn't even pin Maya on the way out. Yeah, I mean, Maya was saving them jobs.
Yeah, because she look, she might have loyalty to Rossi, but she also know Rossi out here getting weekly dialysis and shit.
Like
Rossi might not be long for this world. I can always come back because it was enough amicable. Like, you know, she's always welcome to return. That's what Okada said in the press conference. Like, Mayu damn near sold out Korakuen Hall within minutes, or within like 20 minutes of her like announcing in that press conference. If she comes back to Stardom, what do you think is going to happen?
Maybe Rossi Ogawa wants to give his daughter the company. You know,
that would be funny.
Quote unquote. I don't know. I find the Joshi politics just hilarious because everybody sees them as these.
Because ultimately it's so low stakes compared to, like, you know, multi-million-dollar corporations or whatever else. And don't get me wrong, these are a few $1 million corporations or whatever else, but like, it ain't the same thing as, like, you know, these on a New York Stock Exchange and shit. It ain't like these aren't exactly the same things.
It ain't Paul Levesque and Dwayne Johnson.
It ain't the same things. The stakes are way higher. Like, Mayu had a movie. Rock can get a movie shot right now. He has a production company for movies. These aren't the same things.
Yeah. And then everybody just thinks they're these cute, cuddly people with no, like, you know, whatever, no flex to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, nah, man. Like, they out here sharks.
Right.
So,
you know,
they fighting for a limited area, limited spots, limited real estate out there.
Right. Rich, do you see somebody said Tam got time out to wait for Saya, LOL. That's fucking hilarious. We don't know if that's true, but I mean, that will be a part of this.
Look, I'm willing to hear every argument.
That's just funny.
We can wrap it up though.
Yep. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate my app you're listening to be sure to rate my app you're listening to this with. If you are watching from the stream, when we post the podcast, in the show notes, we're going to put up the link to Red Circle. You can donate there. Also check out our Chop Tea store. I keep sounding like saying Chop Cheese. It's crazy. I'm not from New York. Not from out there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides Winch Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Generator, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Imps WWE Adventure, Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, and Tunnel Talk. I can't wait. What's up with the Kabashi shit, Rich? You doing the Kabashi pose? Okay. All right. Later, y'all.
Peace.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets, with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.